Okay, well, let's see how this goes. We are gonna try this again on many different levels. We're hoping the video quality is gonna be better. And let's see. Yeah, okay. Well, it is what it is, unfortunately. So here we go. Here we go. All right. So I do apologize. I tried to do this a little bit earlier today, and I was not prepared for, or was not in the mood for, the kerfuffle that ensued. And so I'm trying it again. And unfortunately, the webcam, I believe, is absolutely crap right now, which is very frustrating. I haven't been able to figure out why that is. So I do apologize for the quality. It wasn't always doing this. It used to be pretty good, and now it's doing weird things, and I didn't change anything. It's just maybe an update or something. I don't know. But, okay, we're bracing ourselves, because this is a pain in the butt, folks. I'm not going to lie. This is... Alright, so we're going to go up, go down here. And see, we gotta hit them before they hit us, and it's complete RNG. That is the frustrating part about this particular part. This is the first time in playing this game that it doesn't behave in the same way each time. Yeah, that's cool. I screwed it up. You can't. I don't think you can do it without getting that up. All right, so run up here. Anybody? Hello. Cool. Yeah, this is the least fun that I've had with this game. I've loved it up until this point, but this level is absolute trash. Alright, well, that was my bad. I didn't hit A. But let's see. I'm trying to think what I can do here. We're hitting jump, that's why. Alright. And I tried doing this on the actual controller. It is a little bit easier, but... Oh, see, now they come down. See, this is what I mean about the RNG. They didn't come down before, so I was prepared just to fight that guy, and now they're coming down. So the obnoxious thing is it's a puzzle game that changes the puzzle as you. It's like having a Rubik's Cube and trying to solve it, and they just keep changing the stickers on you. So, and they hadn't done that before. It wasn't. Yeah, so this, I did this for about 15 minutes earlier today, and then I just gave up. But I got bored, so I'm trying it again. But I am still kind of bored, to be honest, because this keeps happening. It's a monotonous bit of nonsense, really, which is not how this game was before. Sometimes it works, and you can actually clear all of them out. You can clear every single one of them out with the bottle thing. But unless it decides not to let you. Like that. So it's sometimes they come. It's just completely random. So we just have to get lucky. This is not a game of skill at this point. This is a game of absolute freaking luck. See? There you go. Now, why is it there and not elsewhere? I don't know. The problem is, I've done this before. I've gotten up here before. And as soon as we break that door open, those jackals shoot us. So, I think we have to wait for him to go all the way over there, maybe? Okay, I didn't even try to open the damn door. Didn't even try to open the door. I didn't have it. Yes, we're just going to do this. We're just going to hack away at it because we are persistent. There you go. Another instance of it just not working out quite the way you would like it to. There's that again. Okay. And the bullet thing is not a given either. That's another problem. You can deflect some bullets sometimes, you do, sometimes you don't. Death. It's like really ridiculous timing. You just got to get it right. They got to be all there, but they can't be shooting at you like that, because then they just shoot it out of the sky. So it's like a spike. I mean, every other I've been playing this. We played this for 2 hours the other day, and it was perfect. It had the level of difficulty was such that like I had to, you know, it took me a few times sometimes, but see, and I could have sworn I was slashing at him, but apparently I wasn't. See, and again, the RNG bullcrap. And I'm dead. Because I'm trying to get far enough over so that they can't just shoot me. So by far, one of the most frustrating games in recent memory. Because every other one, they you know, pick a lane. You know, it's either it's a puzzle game and you got to keep the rules the same, or it's an action platformer and you just have to figure it out. Luckily, I've got about 2 hours to burn, so that's what we're going to do. This is going to be a long bit. I doubt we're actually going to beat this level. I don't know that what's going to happen tonight. I'm kind of getting tired of doing the same thing. But I don't really have much of a choice. I mean, it's just every single time. You have absolutely zero chance of doing jack squat to these aliens. Now see, I have no idea why that worked that time, because there was a guy already there. Whoa, slow your roll. Alright. See, and that's, I mean, I can't, yeah, you like, you can only roll once. Hello, jackals. I laugh. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's annoying as hell. But you have to laugh because otherwise you just would. Well, I mean the last, because I actually tried the stream. I got it 15 minutes in, like I said, and I was pissed. It was Profanity City. So I don't appreciate the difficulty spike. I feel like we didn't work up to this. Yep, it's just random. Will we do it or will we not? The game gets to decide. We have no skill in this whatsoever. We have absolutely no say in whether or not this works. We just have to hope that they don't do the thing. Will we get it this time? Nope. Didn't get it that time. Maybe this time. Who knows? Let's see if the game gives it to us. It's Apparently, that's what passes for good game development. See? I mean, come on. I can't learn from it because it's bullshit. It's actually not doing. There is no rhyme or reason for it. See, I don't know what the fuck to do there. Sorry, there is profanity. I can throw upwards. I did not know that. Jonas, let's see how that. Wow. Jonas, you just saved me a lifetime worth of. Well, never mind. Oh no. Okay, well, you did save me from some frustration for sure. That helps a ton. I don't know if I was supposed to know that. I'm guessing I was, because that would be pretty crappy otherwise. That door's closed. I have nothing else, so I just have to... Okay. Now here's the question. I have zero confidence about this. Is there something else I can do here? I'm pretty sure I can't throw it through the door. Also, I recommend using the slow motion while learning. Yeah, Jonas, the problem is I'm doing it on an arcade stick because I'm trying to get good with the arcade stick and trying to do all that at the same time. And the problem is, Jonas, what I don't understand when people, like, when I started trying to do it, it slows me down too. So it doesn't really help. Like, I'm slowed down here. See what? Let's see. Yeah, okay, so that's the slowdown. So we do this, door open. I mean, and just trying to get my fingers over the buttons in time for that is just not going to happen. Which I understand that's self-inflicted. That's my own decision. Okay, don't know why that didn't work. I can throw downwards. Good evening. You're still laggy, by the way. Game is fine. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that, IO. I haven't changed a single setting. I know exactly what you're saying because I've been watching the videos and going, the hell am I supposed to do? Unfortunately, I have no answer for it. I have not changed any settings. I haven't changed anything in the camera. There is absolutely no change from now and the way it was, and it's running like crap. So unfortunately, I don't know. And I'm not sure, honestly, how that's going to impact the stream on... I think it's just OBS. I think OBS is just being a bitch. Because it does that. And yeah, I can see it. It's laggy as hell. So I don't know. I really have no idea. I can't fix it if I didn't do anything to break it. So all I can do is shrug and say, well, there goes my streaming. You know, and that's very frustrating too, obviously. I'm just going to throw it at the door just in impotent rage. There we go. I mean, at least we got that down. That was that's kind of nice. Oh, geez. Sure, screw you. Screw you! Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. All we can do now is hope and pray. It's kind of like the webcam. Sometimes it works fine, and sometimes it... I will say, every single time I start this thing, sometimes the webcam works, sometimes it doesn't at all. It doesn't even show up. Sometimes OBS or Elgato isn't showing up, and I've got to restart it like 6 times. So technology is really screwing me right now. And my own limitations as a player. And my patience is... Let's see. It slows you down too, yes, but you're also given more time to react to things that happen quickly. For example, if you're being shot at by a single guy, you have an easier time striking a bullet. Yes, you can hit bullets back at them. Assuming you're retarded, restarted everything. Yes, I restart the computer every morning. I've restarted this OBS like 3 times. Well, no, about a dozen times today actually over the course. And in fact, before I started this stream, and I know my time limit's running down. Before I started the stream, I restarted OBS about 6 times. I run it as an administrator, so in theory, it's getting all the system priority. But like you see, the most important thing to me is that the gameplay itself is not laggy. But there's no reason. So I get this lag on the camera even when I'm not streaming. When I fire up OBS, it is this laggy. And I've done some research on it, and they're like, oh, turn this setting off. Well, I don't have that setting. They're like, turn off auto, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that setting. So I don't know. And I don't know why it just started doing this. Like I said, once I lock everything down, I don't touch anything. So everything's been restarted. Everything's been unplugged and replugged in. Yeah, I have to plug in the camera every single time. Like when I stop the stream, when I stop the camera, I'm just gonna wait for it time to expire now because we don't have enough time to finish. Every time I have to start the stream, I have to connect through USB each time to start it up. So I don't know. But for a second, it's assuming you're retarded, and I was like, sure. All right, here we go. Yay! 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 You. Time to do. All right, we're gonna try. Go. Okay, I suck just as much when it's in slow motion as I do when it's fast. So yeah, that's not helping me at all. Okay. Get wrecked! I say to myself, but that is what is happening. I'm the only one getting wrecked here. Alright, we're gonna try it again. Open the door. Oh, this game. Get to hell. Yeah, that was my fault. That was an input issue. That's also an input issue. I kind of want my character to die right now. He's making me so miserable. I just kind of like watching him die because it's like... Yeah, there you go. That's cool. Yep. You were making it harder on yourself with the controller option on already challenging game. Hopefully it resolves itself. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna, unfortunately. That's not been the way of things. The problem is it's so much more rewarding on this. The problem is... that's not the controller. That's having absolutely zero impact on my ability to do this, unfortunately. All right, that's on me. Let's see. Yes. Yep. Okay. Oh. Different that time. Fun. I guess I don't have any idea how to do it. Which is fine. See, up until this point, this has not been a problem. It's... Woo! Oh, this is bad news. And we're dead. Actually, I should... Oh, can I bait them out? That might actually work out better. I don't think I can, because I've tried doing that before. I think that was just a random yippee, hey, that's cool that it worked out that time, but not something that's going to work out in the future. Okay. Have you lit incense and chanted prayers to the Omnicia for the machine spirit to unlock the camera FPS? Okay, Jonas, I gotta admit, aside from have you lit incense, I did not understand any of that. So I'm gonna say yes, because that seems to be the correct response. Of course I did. That's the right response. Of course I did. Let's do this. I Yay! Yay! Oh, I thought there was still somebody there. Halt, meat man! Your puny vessel has been commandeered. I am the invincible Cyberman of Glorbox 12. Surrender to my superior robot intellect. I would love to. I'm here to destroy all humans and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of gum? Yeah! I'm all out of humans. Even better. Even better. Schmuck, schmuck, schmuck. Alright. I'm gonna wait for you to get over there. Hit this. Nope. Gonna hit this. We're gonna try this again. Nope. Get your chunky ass out of the way. Oh, garbage! I feel like I get the timing and then I don't. Oh, I need to kill you. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to do slow down first. I have no freaking clue, man. I got no freaking clue. I'm not entirely sure how to time that better. Okay, that was cool. Let me do slow motion death. That's exactly what I wanted to do. Oops. Okay, kill me. Seriously? It took you that long? You insta-kill me when I don't want you to, and then the one time I'm just like, get it over with, you're like, oh, let's drag this out. Let's BM this guy. That seems like a good idea. Alright, that was... Fucking hey, man. Yeah, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I played this game to get away from RNG, and yet sometimes... Oh, piss. Oh, 40K reference. Gotcha. On the point you're struggling with, wait for the guy to come to the door, then hit the door. He will die as the door slams open, then you can instantly toss the Molotov at the gunman. Alright, I'll give that a shot. No pun intended. Well, actually, it's... I mean, that's what I was trying to do, kind of, sort of, but obviously my execution has been kind of balls. And yeah, I can't consistently do what I want to do. I'm pushing the same buttons, but getting different results each time. Alright, so you say, I approach the door. Then hit the door. He will die as the door slams open. I mean, I'm going to take it that you've done that before, but apparently I'm not as fortunate. Yeah. Okay. All right, try this again. So. No, 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 I'm not ready to fight you yet. I'll have you. I didn't even push a button. Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys have reflexes like champs, man. They're that's a DS right there. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button. I can quit. That time I actually thought I had the timing down right. I was like, alright, I figured this out. You see how he shot me after I killed him? You see how that works? That's a thing that happens all the time. Well, to be fair, none of it really happens all the time, so get wrecked, Jackal. You have no friends, nobody likes you. Alright, we'll just do what we did before. Just gonna tap Y and then tap A. It's that easy. Kablam, kablam. And then why am I getting beat by the friggin' jobbers, man? My goodness gracious. But thanks, Jonas. That tip did work. I just can't do the bullet time stuff, apparently. I'm not good at it. I have to just do it hard. Do it hard and dirty. What? What you got now? Yeah! Behold my magnificence! Jonas, I would seriously, dude, if you hadn't told me you could throw stuff up. Now, I would like to pretend, I would like to think that that was actually indicated in the game tells you that. I'm gonna assume that's the case because I think it would be really screwed up if it didn't. But damn. Okay, same strat did not work that time. Alright, we're gonna try that again. Kill the guy at the door. I mean, they're looking right at me. That ain't cool. I'm stealthy. They don't know that I'm here. And what is that computer? My gosh, that's huge. I could see this taking a while. Alright, maybe. Whatever, game. Like, seriously, like, this game was moderately challenging when we first started. Like, the first 2 hours of this game were very, like, okay, it's challenging, but you just gotta, you know, figure a few things out. And now it's just absolute crap. It's just like, okay, this is... I mean, there's no way I'm gonna be able to pull this off. I mean, it's fun to just mess around. satisfying anyway just to see the eruptions, but I know that won't work, Jackhole. Like, what do you think I'm doing? My brain is as jerky and as slow as my webcam. And I'm pretty cheesed off about both of them. Yeah. Let's see. Overworked GPU, drop your bitrate to below 8,000. I had it at, so I just did that today. I increased it to 8,000 because when I did like Call of Duty, like when I'm playing like games that are a little more graphically challenging than this, they look like crap. And I was told to bump it up to 8,000. I did that today, not yesterday, not the day before. So when you commented on the stream looking like crap yesterday, or you know my camera looking like that was still at 6,000. I had it set at 6,000 until actually the second stream. So Tesla this morning was 6,000. I just bumped it up to 8,000 for this because I wanted to test it out, and it's no different. So I don't know. It's all about the timing of this game, but I sympathize with your choice of controller. Tip for the shotgun guys: roll after you hear them loading the gun. You got to be fast enough to throw the Molotov before they fire. If they fire first, they will shoot the Molotov before it hits them. It's a tricky game, all about timing. Once you get used to the patterns, you get the rhythm, and then it just flows. GG. Observe the oil barrels. No, I see the oil barrels. I do, but the problem with this game is you can't open a door without getting shot. So, oh, wait a minute. All right, so there's something there. I mean, I saw the barrels, but I didn't know there would be a chain reaction like that. Good call, Jones. Good call. I mean, you're walking me through it, but all right, I'm gonna wait for him to get to the door. Just bust it open on him. Ka-chow! Ka-chow! Okay. No! What is this game? What is this gauntlet nonsense? How many of these deft awesome maneuvers am I gonna have to do in a row before? Whee! Yeah, that bit me in the ass. Gotta go right when they come out of the door. Bow. Bow. Got it once. No, come back here, gunman. I need to hit you first. Like, seriously, he's got his big meaty hands. They're no match for my sword. They're no match for my freaking sword, and yet I lose to that loser every single time. Cool. There we go. Okay. Oh. What is that? Okay, that's probably not a bad guy, right? Oh, no, that's just a prop. It's a prop. I don't have to kill it. Please. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, we're gonna die here, man. We're gonna die. It's all over. It's game over, man. Oh. Oh, I hate you so much. Oh, gosh. Here, kill me quick. There you go. Observe the oil barrels. Observe the oil barrels. How they sit there. Oh, that was a little late, but that's all right. Come here, gunny boy. Here, gunny. Dude, don't you dare stop there. Wow, you turd muffin. What the hell? Is the game learning? Is that what's happening now? No! The game is learning? Come here, jackhole. Get over here. Go to your home. Are you too good for your home? Oh, you're not. You're dead. You're dead. And you die too. And you die too. Oh no. Oh. Okay, that time I pissed off the gun guy before I was ready. That's yippee, hooray. Yippee. Get over here, tool bag. All right. Oh no, reset. Are you flipping kidding me, dude? All right, you know what? Woohoo! All right, a little slow, a little fast, just right. And the one in the same room, in short, keep distance when throwing. Oh no! Alright. So I think I gotta get them when they're together. Get together, fellas. Get it together. I need you to chum up here. Hold hands. Okay, bald man, get over. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Hopefully this works. Nope, didn't work. Come on down here, meat hands. Yeah. See how well that worked out for you. Picked up a yellow key card. I don't understand what you want from me. Okay, so I gotta go back down. Let's go. Sweet. If you set bitrate, maybe check your GPU's not overworked. But the thing I don't like, the problem I have is I haven't changed anything. So why would my GPU be overworked now, but it wasn't overworked before? So I'm not sure how to change something if I didn't change it to begin with. So if I see it's overworked, what do I do? Like, I don't have it. Like, this is running off the Switch. So the game is not running, is not the system resource. The only thing I've got up right now is OBS, the chat window, and the game's running on the monitor, but that's it. So I don't. And unfortunately, I'm not a PC savvy fellow, so I'm not even sure how to check the GPU, even if I could. Wait a minute. Oh, I need to go back to the elevator, I think. Oh, please don't die there. All right. Quiet Hills. This sounds like it should be nice and easy. Let's see. If you set bitrate, maybe check your GPU. It's easy just to go ham with it, but it seldom works. It really is a method to the madness, which is why the slow motion is included as a main mechanic. Timing. Is the chat also on some time behind the stream? Jonas, I think it's 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds behind. The interaction feels very delayed. And again, that's something else I don't know how to, yeah. I mean, I've been researching, like I look at it and it's, how do I change the delay? And there is nothing, as far as I've been able to tell. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's a 10 or 15 second delay. Based on when you all respond to what I say, I think it's 10 to 15 seconds. So yeah. YouTube stream delayed. And the other thing is we're hardwired and we have like an incredibly high like upload, download speed, like very high. And my computer is hardlined into the wall. So there's no Wi-Fi, there's no whatever. It's not a web issue. Stream latency? All right, hang on. Streamer manage. The stream dashboard. Stream settings. You know what? I will try doing this. All right, you guys let me know if it stopped. I stopped the recording, which again is not something. It's something I've always recorded at the same time, so I don't think that's an issue. But that's maybe something. Yeah. So it says to look for stream latency, and I don't see stream latency. It says nothing. Okay. It's not an option. There's normal, there's low, and there's ultra low, but I can't change it. I'm guessing because I've already started. So tell you what, I am gonna try. I'm back to recording because that didn't actually help anything. Could be a driver issue with the webcam. It's not a webcam. It's actually a Sony ZV-1. So it's running. It's on its own thing and it's running into the computer via USB. Again, none of this is different from what it has been in the past since I ever started streaming. This is the exact setup I've had. Nothing has changed on my end. If Windows did an update, and it changed something. If OBS did an update, I haven't updated OBS in a while. Like every time it has an update, I update it, but it hasn't needed an update in a while. So I have no idea. But I think I can change it to ultra low latency stream-wise, and that may fix that. I can try it. Let's see. He just gets to it later, but there may be a very slight lag. Just thinking because he just now mentioned the throwing at a distance comment, which may mean it just popped up. And we'll see this one in a few minutes. Could be a driver issue with the webcam. What happened to No Fun Day, Schwart? It's still not fun, but I got like Jonas has given me a couple little tips as we went along, like that I can throw. Remember when Body Bag was with me in the profane stream. I can throw the Molotov up, so that solved some of those problems. And then opening the door to kill a guy, that was a big help. And then the barrel. So I've gotten some tips from Jonas that have helped me kind of nudge me along here, which is fine because when I play games, I'm more delight in the execution more so than figuring out puzzles. So I don't mind getting help with those because I still have to actually, if it was a, like once you solve the puzzle, it's over, then I'd be like, hey guys, don't tell me this because this is really all that matters. Having a strategy is, I would say 30 to 40% of it, and then there's at least 50 to 60% of it is execution. So I'm okay with that because I like the execution. That's the fun part for me. But yeah, I couldn't leave it as it was. I had to give it a try. What camera did you say? It's a Sony ZV-1. Well, the laggy shite isn't funds. We're trying to help. Any ideas? I'm gonna try to help troubleshoot. I've been researching in the background. Yeah, I don't know. And I took it down from 30 to 60 frames to 30 frames to try to decrease that. It's not on 4K. It's a 4K camera, but it's set to just regular HD. I tried. There was another thing where you can go into settings and you go, what is it? Output. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to be able to change any of this right now. But like I change it from right now, base canvas resolution is 2560 by 1440. Output is 1920 by 1080. I changed it so that it was 1920 by 1080 both. Didn't change anything. It was still slow as balls. And yeah, it's not on internet because we're up at like over 8,000 kilobytes like on the regular. So it's the video game is fine. Why the camera is balls, I don't know. Likely not a driver issue since it's not a webcam. Might be the cable. I mean, I do have another one, but I mean, it just goes bad. Like I don't do anything with it. It just goes crappy. Like, nope. I thought maybe that fixed. It just goes back. I mean, it could be. I'm not denying. I'm always miffed when stuff works great and then it just doesn't. And it's only with computers. Pretty much everything else, you know, well-oiled machine. If it's running, it's running. And yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm toting it all over the place. It's there, and then it. Yeah, I don't know. How is it captured? Just HDMI, or is it going USB? It's USB. The camera, I do not believe. I'm not sure if the ZV-1 can do mini. It wouldn't be a full HDMI. ZV-1 streaming mini HDMI to HDMI. Oh, well then that would be a problem because I don't have an extra HDMI port. I've got 3 monitors running. One's a display port, 2 are HDMIs. I don't have. That's why I didn't do it, because I don't have an extra HDMI port in there. Yeah. So yeah, so it's just going USB. So it comes out of a micro USB in the camera, runs to USB, and the crappy thing is you have to tell the camera you can't plug it in first. You have to say I'm streaming through USB, and then it says okay, now plug it in. So then you plug it in, and you're good to go. It's a pretty simple process, but again, haven't. All right, let me just while we're doing the troubleshooting. I think the latency thing I'll be able to make a change of setting and have that fine. But this webcam thing is mind-numbingly frustrating, and I can't. If it was a webcam, I think you can change like what the resolution is. Here I can't. I can deactivate it. The only other thing I could think, but I don't know why it would suddenly have a problem with this. If I do this, let's see. Does that help? Is it? Nope. I thought maybe if it was having to generate that because it was having to key out, that would be something that would make it slower, but it clearly is not it's not an issue. Send you some message over on Discord. Okay, might be that the USB can have some issues providing high FPS from DSLRs, but strange if it was working fast. Well, not only that, Jonas, but it's not a DSLR. So I actually do have a DSLR that I specifically am not using for that reason. This is it's a ZV-1. I don't know how to call it, but like DVRs DVRs are typically like they can only record for like 30 minutes or 25 minutes, and then they have a hard stop and you have to like restart it each time. This doesn't have that limitation. It's a fixed lens, or the lens is built into it. So it's not like a DSLR where it's meant for taking photos, but you can use it for video. It's primarily for video that you can take pictures with if you want to. But yeah, I haven't changed it or any of the settings here. Let me see what Io was saying in Discord here. Don't switch. Encoding performed. My game frame rate is fine, but OBS can't keep up. Why does OBS can't OBS use the CPU to composite? Well, that's probably okay. I just wanted to work out how to keep my GPU from being overloaded. Preventing GPU overload preventing your GPU from doing more. Your GPU has infinite processing power. Okay. GPU even really strong without limited source. Yes. Okay. Solutions. If you're struggling with choppy, laggy output and you're getting encoding overloaded messages, but I mean, IO, wouldn't it make sense if it's the GPU? Wouldn't it be struggling with the game too? Well, maybe not. Well, no, OBS would be. So it's piping in from an exterior system. But if OBS is having a hard time, if the graphics are having a hard time with that, wouldn't it be lagging? Wouldn't the game be lagging as well, or having some issues there? You may need to take some steps to leave some resources for OBS Studio use. Okay, run as administrators, right? It's currently running as an administrator. I did do that. In many cases, GPU overload issues can be resolved by running OBS Studio as administrator. Try that before continuing with this guide. Yeah, I'm doing that right now. We are currently Hey, Makaro, you're not late, man. Well, I mean, you would have been if we actually did the stream at the time, but I only did it for 15 minutes. I got incredibly frustrated, and I gave up for a little while. I'm back now, and I got some friends trying to help me because the lag in the camera is bothersome for everyone, including myself. So we're trying to troubleshoot that at the moment, but we have made a little bit of progress. Yep, I'm already running into that. If another program is heavily in GPU, check the task manager. Okay, Control Alt Delete. Looks like it just crashed my computer. Wow, seriously. Control Alt Delete, and I got 2 black screens. I can't see anything except for the game. Oh, you know why? Because it's probably behind the game. Son of a gun. Hang on. Yeah, of course. Task manager. GPU. No, I'm at 8%. 8%, 9% of my GPU. 10%, 15%, 10%, 7%. So I don't think it's a GPU issue. Like, yeah, OBS is using 1.6, browser using 0.1, and then Creative Cloud. I don't even have that activated. Why the crap is that on? How do I turn you off? How do I exit out of you, you piece of crap? I mean, it's just running in the background. I guess I can just turn it off. UI helper and task. But I mean, to be fair, if my GPU can't handle 10% of its overall power, then yeah, we're in really bad shape here. Let's see. Okay, might be that then. USB can have issues. USB are fickle things. I think it comes down to the camera source as an input. How is it registered on the PC? Does it utilize some Sony software to register the camera? Elgato. Well, so no. When I go into OBS, it just registers. Like you can select. It says select video source, or you know, like if you go there, it says you can add video capture device. So if I hit that, it recognizes that the camera is plugged in, and it brings up Sony ZV-1. So right now, it shows up as Sony ZV-1. Unfortunately, when it goes to configure window, there's nothing to do. Configure crossbar. And resolution FPS type, if I say custom, I disappear first. And the only thing I can do is say highest FPS or match output FPS, which I'm just to leave it at that. Buffering auto detect, apply rotation data from camera if any. I don't need that. Use hardware decoding when available. Use custom audio device. Okay, now I'm gone. So that doesn't work. I can't do that. I disappear when I change. If I change those properties to custom, I go away. So now I have to I'm back to default, and I'm back to sucking. If you can check the source outside of OBS, you can quickly check whether or not the issue is within OBS or within the camera source itself. I don't think it's GPU related. Oh, we talking about USBs? Half the USB ports on my laptop sometimes work and sometimes don't. Troubleshooting is fun, yes. I actually enjoy it so long as I don't have the issue stopping me from doing things. Otherwise, I enjoy the process of narrowing down the issue. Yes, it's a fun spectator sport, but when you're in the midst of it, it is no bueno. But I mean, I certainly don't mind. I appreciate the help and the suggestions. So I certainly like solving issues. Hope we can solve this one. So you said if you can check the source outside of OBS. I'm not sure how that would work. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. If I had another program that would... Oh, I do. Discord. Discord runs it. Yeah, let me do this. So I'm going to get really quick. None. Turn on camera. Of course, this is the dumbest thing to do because, as Ayo can attest, every time we've tried to do this, it throws fits. And it's not showing there. I'm trying to think of another program I could use. I don't think Premiere. I'll check. I've never tried using a live feed in Premiere. I don't think it records in real time. I doubt that it does. Let me see. Oh! Hello? Oh, yes. Yes, I did, I think. Oh, I thought I closed Discord and it's... yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's not bringing up the webcam, of course, because as you and I both know, it doesn't do that. So I'm just trying to find some other software that actually can run it. Yeah. What else do we have here? Oh, Premiere, live video. Watch and experience a new video together in real time. Is there a way to live edit with Premiere Pro? Yeah, I don't think I can do that. That wouldn't make any sense. That'd be crazy cool, I guess, in some ways, but... Yeah, there's not a record function on there. I don't even know why I bothered with that. You go away because a camera source usually can only be utilized by one software at a time, so you just disappear on stream because the setting window is calling the video source. Right, Jonas. And then I closed it out, like we were done with that, and then I didn't come back. Oh yeah, you previously asked me if English is a mandatory thing in my country. We do study it at school, but school doesn't really help you become fluent in a language, as you might have figured out. Yes, Macaro, I unfortunately. And by the way, it's Iraq, Jonas. You might already know that. I learned it just for myself. Iraq, not Iraq or Iraq, but Iraq. So I immersed myself in it over time, became fluent. Simple as that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, 5 years of Spanish and all, and muy poco, más o menos, nada mucho. Yo comprende muy poco español. Muy malo. Mi español es muy malo. Yes. So, and I keep looking up like OBS video randomly sucking, and it doesn't say anything. The only thing I can think to do after this stream, I mean, I know it's painful to look at. I can try setting up the DSLR as opposed to this one, but it chaps my ass when it was working just fine and now it's not. That bothers me. It really bothers me. CPU is at 1%. I mean, I had this, I mean, it's not top of the line. It doesn't have NVIDIA, but I had this computer built so that I could edit and do streaming. That's when I asked the guy to build it, I said, hey, these are the two things I want to do. He said, okay, I'll max out, well, not max out, but I'll give you the stuff you need. So I don't think it's a system issue. It's, who the hell knows? Also, I suck at troubleshooting. Maybe it's because the troubles I'm trying to shoot are a bit tough for me, or maybe because I'm dumb. You and me do the same, Macaro. I too speak mother language where the I is pronounced E. Oh, okay, okay. So you're on the in, you're on the no. Yeah, I'm not. I can deactivate, and presto, I go away. And I give it a second. Give it a second. I activate, and we're back at not really good. I'm gonna try deleting the other Sony as a source and see if that helps. Doesn't look like it did. Yeah. Not sure. Not sure. Don't know what I changed, what changed, but we'll just get back to it, I guess. Because there is the interwebs. Surprisingly enough, Reddit and all the interweb stuff are absolutely worthless in this. They and all it says is, "Oh, did you check this? Did you?" Yes, I've checked all that. It's all fine. It's been fine, and now it's not. True story. And I'm okay with troubleshooting most things, just not computer things, because computer things to me don't make because some of it is like Windows. It works fine, and then it's like, oh, we did an update and now crap doesn't work. Now I don't remember there being a Windows update and having this not be good after that, but let's see. I don't have anything to throw. Do I have anything to throw? Can I pick something up? I can't. All right, so we're gonna bust open the door. And we're going to take a shot in slow motion. That's really, Jonas, unfortunately for me, man, that's all the slow motion is good for. I can watch myself get shot in slow motion. It does not help me connect with the bullets. I have not been able to figure out. Okay, there we go. I'm just. Yep. Even when I win, I lose. Story of my life. Story of my life. Oh, there's a barrier there too? Mother flippin', what in the world is this crap? This is no. This is get me off this thing. Hey, let's keep troubleshooting OBS. It's likely a finicky software thing, either that or USB issue. Likely not PC hardware issue. How much did the guy put together your PC for? Believe because it was a friend. It's a friend who actually he doesn't have the business anymore. He shut it down, but. I want to say, because I think I was trying to come and I was like, I think, what can I get for like 1,500? I think we ended up upgrading a little bit. I think it was about 1,800. I think is what I ended up paying for it. And his upcharge was not a whole lot. I think he made like $75 off of it. So most of it was just parts. Sorry, mate. Stupid issues suck. I'll let you know if I find anything else. Appreciate that. Macaro, of course it's an arcade stick. Okay, here's the thing, Macaro. When I started sucking, and you weren't there for me, I was hoping my friends were out. Now, Baldrick and Bodybag were here. When I started sucking really bad, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should need to go controller, right? You know, that's the logical thing. Let me eliminate all the stuff. And I was worse with the controller than I was with, because I've been playing it with the arcade stick. So I actually kind of got used to that. And then I started playing with the controller, and it was even worse. So I am playing with the arcade stick right now. And yeah, this is just... See, now why didn't he look over here? Why didn't he look over here? I'm not complaining. Alright, we're just going to have to make a run for it. No, you know what? We're going to do the thing. No, we're going to make a run for it. No! What in the hell? Don't open the door. Don't open the door. Alright, we're gonna do the flexion thing. Here we go. Yeah! Oh no! Leave me alone! Leave me alone! No, damn it! Damn it! Oh, I hate this world. I hate everything in it. Jonas, thanks for your help as well. You're much more knowledgeable than me. I mean, no, and that's the thing, folks. If Io and Jonas can't troubleshoot this, then it really has no hope. So yeah, I'll just have to futz with maybe the USB on the computer is dying, and I need to use a different port. That's possible. The problem is if anything I want to test out is going to require me to drop the stream, so I can test it, but then trying to come back. I mean, I can do that and just be like, hey, I'll try to come back in about 5 minutes after I tool around with stuff and just see if I can get, if I can make any changes, and maybe. So if you guys are cool with that, I will we can stop the stream. I'll futz with the cable, maybe swap it out. I know I have a different one. I just don't know where it is. Yeah, I can't change the hardware. I can't change the camera tonight. That's going to take too much time because I have to get all the accessories and stuff out. But I might just do that. The only reason I haven't is because, like I said, the DSLR can only record 30 minutes at a time because it's not a video camera, so they artificially cap it at that. And so when I do try to do videos that are hour, 2 hours long, I would have to use this camera anyway. So having like 2 cameras set up, one for streaming, one for regular, is just kind of a mess. I too work with video stuff on PC and cameras and have some experience with OBS, but it's never clear cut with these things. Yeah. Never. My laptop has FPF drops in all games except Tessel and Slay the Spire. I think GPU issues. That's why I'm getting a new PC sometime soon. Just waiting for NVIDIA 5000 series. And it's going to cost you $5,000. That's the problem. That's the guy who built the computer. He said, like, and I mean, I don't know one way there, but he was like, I told him, I said, well, I've got some friends that are saying I need to go with NVIDIA. He said, you're going to pay $7,000, $6,000, $7,000 to get roughly the equivalent. And yeah, it is top of the line, but if you're trying to keep it at budget, like, it's going to triple the cost of your PC if you try to get an NVIDIA card. So I was like, hit the skinny, dodge, laser, kill, gunner, deflect, shot, stand in green light, throw smoke, kill, shot, gunner. Makaro, what am I supposed to... I mean, okay, I get it. I mean, but that's a lot. That's an awful lot of stuff for me to try to do in like a jiffy. I just need to be able to take them one at a time. That's the problem. Okay, and I also need to push buttons at the right time. All right. So I'm gonna do bullet time. Shoot me. Okay. No! Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, no, wait. Oh. Why is he not shooting me? Why is he not shooting me? Can he not shoot me? You said something about smoke? What in the hell? Was he just picking his nose or something the whole time? I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I think I just... okay, I see it. I see it there. All right, let me... I got this, okay. This, okay. Now he's coming around. Door. Okay. No! No! I blew it! And then I do that. Yeah. Hey, why don't you be a little consistent there, dude? If you don't see me before, why do you see me now? How do you like me now? Why don't you throw it? Did I already throw it? I didn't throw it. Okay, it's not there, but it's not in my inventory. How does that work? Man, that'll be sick. It'll be quite some time before I upgrade my PC again. But it built it myself, first time some years ago. Nice! And spent more than I wanted to on a 3080 during the great GPU drought back then. Yeah. As expensive as they are now, they were expensive they were much more expensive a while ago. If this problem continues and you have some time this weekend, you could shoot me a message and we could try to find time to jump on Discord to troubleshoot a little better than we can here. All right, fair enough, Jonas. Yeah, I after this, like, I didn't know you all noticed it because nobody really talked about it too much, which, I mean, might have just been polite, or maybe nobody's looking at me, they're looking at the game, which is absolutely fine. Had I known that it was bothering people, I would have tried to figure it out earlier. I saw it and I was like, maybe it's not as bad as it looks to me, and maybe nobody notices. But now that I know that it is noticeable, I'll do what I got to do. All right. You and your stupid crowbar. Get wrecked. Okay. See, again, this is what was chapping my butt earlier today. There was no consistency. It was like sometimes. All right, grab this. Is it Y and down? It's Y and down. Yeah! Slow camera be damned! I am the hotness! Because you threw it to the left. Is that what happened? You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Can I pick up a knife again? Can I pick up another knife, please? I'd like another knife. Alright, we'll just have to do the slow motion again here. Whoa! No. No. Shotgun shells, bad for that. I can't block 25 of them. Oh, I need to wait for him to cross again. I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Screw this. Ah. Oh, come on. Shotgun shells do not go that far. Shotguns have limited range. You want to shoot me with buckshot, you better damn well do it within 10 feet. If you can't do that, then don't kill me at all. If anything, I should have been like, oh, that tickles. That tickles. Elmo loves you. Screw you, dude. I didn't tell you to come in the door. Get wrecked. Okay, never mind. No, pick it up. Pick it up. Pick up the gun. Thank you. Alright. Oh, it killed the wrong one. I don't know how that happened, but okay. Yeah, that was a little slow on the old reflexes. That was bad. Can't do it tonight. I'm about to fall asleep, but if you have time tomorrow, maybe we can do it. Don't know where in the U.S. you are, but I'm 6 hours ahead of the East Coast. Yeah, so you're 7 hours ahead of me. I'm an hour behind the East Coast. So yeah, you're. I figured. But most of my new friends now are. I have my best friend is a United States guy, but everybody else is pretty much not in this country, which is cool. Like every time I meet somebody new, it's from a different part of the world, which is really fun. All right, what do we do with Buckshot Boy? You know what? Maybe we jump over him? So let's try this. We break. Nope. Nope. He reacts way too fast. I think we need the meat cleaver. I'm gonna. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna. Yeah, shoot me in the head, Jackal. Would you pick the... Stop putting things indoors, dude. Come on. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna Y. Okay, now we got the... Now we're cooking with gas. Alright, so now we should be able to do... Yes! Yes, the power. The absolute... No, 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 no! He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. I didn't hit any of them? Oh my gosh, this game! Alright, I gotta use it on one of them. For some reason. Jeez. Yeah, meant to do that, folks, by the way. Meant to do that. Oh, wait. Can I go up? Can I go? I can go up there. I can go up there. That's it. I need to go up. Ascend! Yes, be fleet of foot ninja man. I think I just... Can I drop down here? I can. Get wrecked, y'all! Run like the wind, bullseye! Or ride like the wind, bullseye. Whoa, what was that crap? You see that guy at the end? He was... Something was walking over. I don't know. GG, by the way, I was the first to mention the lag. Yes, I didn't even watch the stream. Was working. Only noticed it during the playback. Yeah, you were the first one to mention it. So I saw it when you mentioned it in the Discord. So before I started this stream, I tried to troubleshoot it. And I think it's better than it was, honestly, because I'm not seeing... Well, it looks like crap, but it looked like quite less crap. Tip for shotgun, roll after you hear the gun load. Okay, I get you. Hit door, dodge behind him, hit him. Hit door, dodge behind him, hit him. Then you'll roll through under the shot. Okay. I mean, I guess I accidentally sorted through it without doing it the right way, but I'll take it just because. Just making sure it can't go out. All right. Lobby. Let's go to the lobby. Let's go down to the lobby. Let's go down to the lobby. Is it me or did that decoy just look like Silent Hill 2 antagonist that chases you but you can't kill him? I haven't played Silent Hill 2, but I understand it's a horror genre, and yes, I have to agree that it reminded me of a horrifying thing. Bam. Alright. We're going to do our slow-mo thing again. Yeah, probably need to do that a little bit faster, which is a little ironic considering. Oh crap, I did it without slowing down. No, my gosh, all the firing! Run away! Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I mean, that's always fun to do. Okay. Shh. I just want to see how far I could go just mashing buttons. It was kind of fun. Alright, now we're coming down. Alright, now we're gonna do bullet time. Let's you gonna shoot at me? Fill that meter back up. Is it just... Oh, yeah, a little bit. Grab my cocktail there, or my Molotov cocktail. I want to use that first, I think, before I get the smoke. No, you piece of garbage! Oh, I've got a bust. Nice. What the freakwa? Get wrecked. I did it again! Sent you a DM on Discord so you can easily find me if you want to chat. Awesome, Jonas. All right, let me pull that up before I forget. Oh, and IO, thank you for the deck list as well. I see a lot of them there. So yeah, we'll just kind of go through each of them, and you know, there we go. Joe Jonas, you're older than I thought you would be. A little more like Jack Nicholson, but that's cool. That's cool. Who is that actually? It looks like Abraham Lincoln meets Jack Nicholson, which is probably something I never thought I would ever say. But, all right, let's hack and slash again, and so if you do. Fudge. Dude, seriously, who invited you to the party? Who invited you to the gosh darn party? I was not ready to mess with you yet, jackhole. We're going to take care of you now. Oh no, my cocktail. Oh no, my life. Oh no, I'm awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm the awesomest guy in the world. Oh my goodness gracious, my greatness cannot be contained. Let's see. There we go. There we go, boy. That's the stuff, old bean. Let's see. Some Norwegian linguist from the 1800s. It's an outside joke. Okay, fair enough. I was like, I don't get it, but uh-oh. There he is with his pimps. He just arrived. Yeah, he's alone. Get over here. Get over here. I don't want to stay in my fresh tracksuit. Get out. This is business. Wow, not even a head turn? Damn. Well, let's do this. Oops. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna have to do this like 35 times until we actually get him. Great, now not only my stream is messing up, but now the computer's messing up too. Well, hello there, lady. Wait, what did she do? Who did she cut? Is this all? What a waste. Hiya! Shrinkage reuse school. I've never approved of your pet projects. Save it for later, Snow. Go home now and forget all about this. This is your only warning. You'd be a lot shorter if you weren't wearing 6-foot shoes. What a fucking waste. Let's get out of here. Yes, let's. Okay, I'm not following. Do not mistake my mercy for weakness. That's what I was doing, lady. I was exactly doing that because I don't know what your plan is. I don't know what your goal is. I don't know what you're all about. But we were getting wrecked by blue-haired guy until you came along. But then you didn't help us. You didn't really do anything. I'm sorry I was not at the office today. I don't think that's the same person. I rescheduled your appointment for tomorrow. Oh, it's the British guy. I rescheduled your appointment for tomorrow. I hope you had a relaxing night. I did, in fact, jerk store. In other news, here are a few safety tips for this year's Halloween. Hey, that's actually kind of timely. Have your children trick-or-treat in your building only. Oh no, it's that little girl, who's probably not even a really little girl. Don't accept candy from anyone you don't know, and don't accept strange or discolored candy. What is strange candy? What is discolored candy? Candy is every single color. What kind of advice is that? Open the door? Yes. Yep, I knew it was you, pigtails. Trick or treat! Yeah, I knew you'd recognize me. You wear the same thing every day. Happy Halloween! Trick or treat! Because it's Halloween and you have to dress up. Do you like my costume? I want to belittle her self-confidence. That's why it was so easy to make. You always wear the same clothes. Now give me candy. Trick or treat. Okay. Wow. You have a sword, man. Why don't you use it? I'm spamming my attack and nothing's working. Search couch? Yes. See if I can find some discolored candy to give her. Ah, that looks pretty discolored. You found a butterscotch. Oh wow, butterscotch. Little tip here. It wasn't butterscotch when I got it originally. Hey-o. Tell Leviathan I said hello. Happy Halloween. In other news, police have confirmed that the recent killings at Mutal Nil High Security Prison, which left over 20 dead, including political dissident Fa Yuan, were the work of the serial killer known as the Dragon. Shrinkage. Behold, comedy, the wayward swordsman awaketh from poisoned slumber. Tragedy and I... Oops. Thou strugglest vainly, errant heart. 'Tis not thy time to pass beyond thy cryptus. Though time abideth no man's dominion. Wow, okay, they're really flowering up the speech here. Thou strugglest vainly, errant heart. 'Tis not thy time. Now gaze upon my woeful countenance, and hearken thou these words. Yeah, hearken, bitch! Two lustrous masks upon my visage rest, of gold and sterling silver. O'er life and death these masks preside. Lo, the silver mask commandeth death. With sword and sling, libate upon the altar the turbid wine of man. I'm digging the scriptwriter here on this. This is good stuff. The silver mask. You're a real killer, huh? Not so scary when you're out cold. The golden mask shineth life, a vestal child wandering time's infinite fractal, unspoiled by Babylon's malignant spell. Sure. Is that a girl I see? I didn't know you had a conscience. Sicko. Two masks thou hast, yet one alone may thy countenance adorn, gold or silver, life or death. I think he's supposed to sound scary, not Shakespearean, but whatever. 3 grains of sand yet linger within thy shrinking hourglass. Deliberate upon thy soul, O errant heart. Time's stoic harvest reapeth bitter yields. In 3 days, we're gonna meet again and you're gonna have to pick life or death. But remember, whichever one you choose, we're gonna take away the other. Now, scram! Cool. Problem is, when you're focused on the performance, I don't really remember much of what I read. Because I was thinking about the lines, not what they were saying. So, something about mask, something, life, death, something. It didn't sound like it was very important. So tell me about the men in masks. Who are the men in masks? The masked men from your dream, tell me more. Ah. You piece of shit. Slice and dices, man, pajama. Get up. I knew it! Get the fuck up. I knew it. I told that guy was bad news. It was bad news. Whoa, that's gonna get annoying really fast. Okay, good. I thought it was just gonna randomly reset every time, but it's part of the narrative apparently. All right, I'm gonna head out. Got to prep for D&D on Saturday. Later, y'all. Hope you resolve the laggy stuff. Me too. Oh wait. Oh, I'm missing plot here. But burning those villages, watching those naked peasants cry. Damn. I see it every day. It's not PTSD. It's the drug. Stop taking the drug then. It's only been a week, but it feels like a year. Every word is getting longer. The mosquitoes are getting louder. When the drug runs out, time stops and you're stuck in the jungle forever. It's grains of sand in a shrinking hourglass. I know what comes next. I need to ask you a favor. I don't know whose lines these are. 684 days remain. Uh-huh. Hey, Papa needs... It's me. Hey, Papa needs his medicine. Help out an old vet. I killed 6 Cro-Mag bastards in the war. It's only been a day since his last taste. How can this be? The drink is all this man ever was, and when it is gone, what remains is the bottle. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Let's just keep walking and try not to make eye contact. Please, help me. Okay, this is wackadoo. Your 1,000-yard stare does not instill me with confidence. I've increased your dosage to compensate for yesterday. Please keep in mind everything you've spoken about today. You know, I thought we had it all together with our bathrobe and our little sword, but I'm beginning to think we're in some trouble. I like how everyone thinks he's British just because he's all orderly and calm until later on, but no spoilers. Bye, I.O. Bye, I.O., my friend. I will talk to you soon. So is butterscotch made out of butter and scotch? If so, then children shouldn't be near it. Yes, Bakar. I'm not entirely sure what it's made out of, but I'm 99.9% sure there is no scotch involved. Because I'm not, like, yeah. If it had alcohol in it, I would detect it. I've had rum balls before, and they're definitely different. Direct and profane hits a little different. Is there some time fuckery happening? What is this all about? Who knows? Exactly, Jonas. I mean, I was getting that vibe. This is very like not Sixth Sense actually, but kind of that whole thing where it's like everything is not as it seems, and once I find out what the truth is, everything's gonna make more sense. I'm like, whoa, mind blown. Age 71, height 5'8", eye color brown, classification old fart, contact code old fart. Al Kazim, secretive founder and CEO of Neotech, a military logistics consultancy. Close ties to new mecha government, involvement in military R&D. Likely lightly guarded, but proceed cautiously. Random semicolon. Yeah, we better burn that typo. Don't want to know that I'm getting my orders from somebody who has a very poor proofreading system. He throws stuff, I guess? Good. Pretty sure I gotta go stealth on this. Never mind. Alright, we're gonna do the... Okay, well that's... Alright. Stealth. Okay, that worked out well. That worked out really well. Can't hit me. You suck. Okay, well that wasn't cool. I meant to do that, by the way. You saw what I meant to do, and I did it, and that's what makes it awesome. I didn't realize he threw something. He's definitely throwing something. I don't know if it's pocket lint or what. But... Just because I can't replicate it doesn't mean I didn't mean to do it before. See? See? Oh no, I ran right past him. I ran right past him. What a goofus. Let's see. In case you missed it, and I did, Macaro. In the beginning, he said 28 years in that godforsaken jungle. Killing soldiers wasn't so bad. I hardly remember, but it's burning those villages, and you know the rest. Okay. So I am, what, at least 38, 44, 46 years old, I guess? I'm looking pretty good for 46. In theory, if I went to fight at 18. Yeah, so basically since he missed one day of getting his daily dosage, he started hallucinating. Getting proficient at hitting the single bullets is a big help in the later levels. This is my favorite music track in the game. It's pretty cool. I did not like the one 2 levels ago, but I do like this one. It's really good one, great driving music on a dark autumn evening. I don't know about driving. Like, I don't want to drive with this. This is scary. Yes, and hitting them without slowing time is another big boost. Well, I mean, again, I can't really say that I'm... Oh, we're just going to shoot me. I wanted to go straight up, but I couldn't. Damn it. Well, that did a thing. Crying out loud. I keep nudging the door open. I keep thinking I have to hit a button to open the door, and I don't. I just have to breathe on it. Apparently, the door flings wide open. It flings wide open under the sunrise. Oh, your little pocket limb can't hurt me. Ooh, jackhead up. I got you. And now you die. Okay, that's exactly how I want it. Oh, farkin' A. I keep thinking I can move fast enough, and I just can't. Could you just go up? Thank you. You know what? I don't think actually breaking that helps. Okay, well maybe it does. Look the other way, you big dumbass. No, don't turn around. Don't turn around, 'cause you're gonna see my heart breaking. Don't turn around, I don't want you seeing me cry. Just walk away. Alright, and... Oh, I should have just hit the door. Oh well. Get wrecked. Ooh, I got a knife. That should work. Let's see. Driving force, neon fog is good for driving a motorcycle. Macaro, do you have a motorcycle? Do you have a motorcycle? If so, what do you have? I myself am a motorcycle rider. In Texas, there aren't a whole lot of days that are great for it, at least in the summertime when I moved here. But now that fall is upon us and the temperature is getting below 90, especially in the evening, I'm going to start riding again. Not a lot of great roads out here, though. Like, you know, obviously you want... I gotta go down. Don't move a muscle while I'll... Jesus, it's you. Oh, we're Jesus? That's the twist. That's the twist. We're Jesus. I did not see that coming, to be honest with you. I had no idea what we're supposed to. This is absolute. Oh. Nope, I don't have the... What the hell is this game? Goodness gracious. Jeez, please. All the way back. All right, I might have to stop before this one because it's a little late. I want to try to solve the webcam thing, and this is going to take me a while. So we might have to call it here. We got not as long as I was hoping, but wait. Hour and 45. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah, I just need to figure out. So I know I need to switch off the latency. So hopefully that'll solve some discrepancies with chat. But then, yeah, I've got to figure out how to make this thing not so crappy. And yeah, we'll take care of that tonight. I'm gonna get on that. I've got about an hour and a half of quasi brain functionality left, and we'll jump back into this. I'm not gonna wait a whole another week. We'll probably do this Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to remember, Macaro. I'm going to remember. Hang on. Let's see. All right, I got to call it. Have a great stream, guys. And do let me know if you want to find some time to chat about annoying tech issues. Will do, Jonas. If I can't solve it tonight, I will hook you up. What are your favorite music genres? No. That's too expensive. A bicycle isn't good enough for me. What do you need, man? Oh no. I wanted to make sure I got the chat before I left. I just wanted, I didn't want to ask a question and then be like, nothing. Okay. Bicycle is good enough for me. Fair enough. Let's see. Favorite music genres? Honestly, Macaro, and this sounds bad. Well, it doesn't sound bad. I mean, in today's current climate, people associate stuff. I dig on pretty much everything, but the only genres of music that I can't just like listen to and be like, okay, cool. Opera. Like, I like classical music. I don't like opera. I don't like rap, like gangster rap. Not a huge fan of hip hop. There's some hip hop songs I like. Generally, as a genre between just the emphasis on a beat and not quite so much on music in general, plus the lyrics. Hip hop is not my jam. Blues and what's the other one? Bluegrass. Kind of take or leave it. Anything else is fine. Alternative rock, heavy metal, punk, ska, big band swing, classical, soundtracks, country. I mean, I don't love country, but I can listen to country. Even EDR or DM, what it's called, like the dance music, like this music, I dig it. That's about the same musical mentality as mine now. Oh wow, no kidding, Macaro. Wow, I did not know. I kind of felt like I was the only one, to be absolutely honest. I kind of figured I was the only one who had those particular, not my jam kind of things. But that's awesome. That's awesome. It's always a risky thing because you're like, okay, I don't want to alienate somebody, but I can't lie either, so I'm just gonna say it like it is. So that's pretty darn cool, man. Which would explain, I guess, why we both enjoy the music for this. The one that when I was getting wrecked for those 15 minutes, whatever it was, that seemed a little more repetitious. But pretty much every other soundtrack I've liked in this game. So that's cool, man. That is cool. Well. Yeah, I may be born late, but my taste is still kind of the 1980s. Oh yeah, man. Oh, that's awesome. What is it? The Top Gun soundtrack. Yeah, everything. Music was fun in the 80s. And I mean, 90s have some good stuff too. And honestly, like, what was it? Smashing Pumpkins, like they got a little emo, but I mean, even Nirvana, like they were, Pearl Jam. There were some bands that I didn't like love, but I could appreciate their music and different songs at least. But yeah, 80s gives me that nostalgia vibe. I don't know about you. So let me ask you this, Makar, and I know this may sound stupid, but I mean, I've talked to like Baldrick, you remember him from Croatia, and he was saying like everything for him is like 5 years behind, so like Nintendo, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious, was 80s music for you in Iraq, or was it like 5 to 10 years? Like, were you getting it in like the 90s or hearing it in the 90s for the first time, or was it still retro for you? I'm just curious how things circulate in the world, because in some places it's like, I mean, and I hate to say it, but I mean, a lot of stuff seems to originate in America. I think maybe clothing trends start in Europe and like France or whatever, but it seems like there are some trends that start, ground zero is America. And so it's like, how long does it take to get to the rest of the world? But then of course we get influenced by things, that's not a flex. It's not like, oh, everything revolves around America. We find out, oh, hey, these other countries have these things too. We export them apparently. But then it's like, but same thing. Japan is the same way. We got Super Mario Brothers 2 when Super Mario Brothers 3 was coming out in Japan. So whatever country it is, it's a little bit of a lag, really. But yeah, let me. Yeah, so you have my word, my friend. Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and schedule it after I get the camera set up. Monday or Tuesday, we'll be back to playing this. 3 o'clock will be the time. And now I know things are going to get really dicey, so I'm going to be prepared for a heck of a fight. I mean, 1980s in Iraq weren't really good. We didn't have much foreign music in the country. It was mostly local media music and songs. McCarl, I'm just curious now, man. This, and forgive me if this is rude. I'm really, really curious because obviously, you know, we had, and I was never politically savvy. It's never been my thing. But like, obviously I know there was a war in Iraq. As somebody who lives there, what has been your experience with, and again, and your media probably is the same thing as ours. It warps reality. It feeds you the agenda, the narrative that it wants you to hear. But like in terms of your experience, in terms of everything, how is there antagonism with the West? Is there antagonism with like America? Is it like, because I mean, obviously we're talking now. There's a great distance between us, but you know, same taste in music, like 80s music, like there's bound to be a lot of overlap. But you know, when I was you know in the 90s, you know, there was a war going on. Like, was that on your doorstep? What was kind of not the fallout, but like how did that influence things? And you're saying like now, we didn't have much foreign music back in the 80s. Did something change? I mean, obviously, from all I know is at some point Saddam Hussein, which was a name, as I've come to know now, he was somebody that we funded, that America funded, with or without the consent of the American people. That was just something that was done, and then at some point that support was taken away, and that regime fell. Was that good? From your perspective, was it like, sweet, the oppressor is gone, or was it like, what are you guys doing? He was actually stabilizing, you know, he was a stabilizing voice here, and now everything is chaotic. I mean, that's a lot of questions, man. I'm just curious because I've never talked to somebody from Iraq before, so I'm just really curious because that is a part of the world where things are said to be so drastically different, and we're supposed to be at odds in so many ways, and so I'm just curious what that perception is. Rom 17, I wasn't born at that time. I just look up older rock songs and jam. Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's right. I forgot you're 17. I forgot. You're a young fella, very, very young fella. Yeah, heck, man. Yeah. I forget what year it is sometimes. So yeah, you were. Wow, it was. Wait, 2008. Pretty much 2007. Okay, yeah, that's ancient history for you, isn't it? Holy cow. Damn, I'm old. All right. Well, good. I lied. Jonas, I lied. I'm still here. We're all just people, man. But screw the governments. Peace and love. Jonas. No, absolutely, man. And that's what I've come to. And that's why I ask these kind of questions, which, again, may seem ignorant. But I've come to understand, whether it's modern or history, America is not, what is known about America is not what the people of America necessarily believe or agree with. It's what our government puts out, it's what our media puts out, and it's what we export. The movies, we don't sign off on that. We don't say, hey, these are good movies for other countries. Like, hey, this would be a healthy movie. This is a fun movie to see. We don't know what goes out there. I hear stuff, and sometimes good stuff goes out, and then sometimes you're like, why are we sending them the absolute crappiest crap? You know, why aren't we sending them the good stuff? But the other side of the coin is that on people on the other side of the world, when we hear, oh, this country does this, or this country believes this, or this country does this, that's the government and that's the media. The people may have absolutely zero connection. There may be a majority, and I'm sure on some issues, just like here, there are. But for the most part, I think it's the same thing. You're like, what the hell is our government doing? Why are they doing this? We just want this. We want these things. Why are they doing this? And then we think, oh, this country is this way. And it's like, no, there are certain people, and the news coming out is saying this, but their news is just like ours. Ours projects whatever the narrative, whatever the agenda is for the news to project. It's not true. A lot of it is not true, or at very best, it's lies of omission. Well, when Saddam was still in control, Iraq had its integrity, and it had a lot of respect from both neighboring and far countries, but we were waging wars nonstop, and they put sanctions on us for invading Kuwait before finally integrating democracy by force to make sure Saddam keeps the oil running and America's economy going. Right, exactly. And see that, and that's the thing, the greed for oil, which is crazy because if you, I'm trying to remember what the stats are now, but like we have plenty. Like we don't need foreign oil. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more in Iraq than there is here, but we have years worth. I mean, even at the amount that we consume, there is years worth. I mean, it requires some fracking, it requires some offshore drilling, but we have years worth of oil here. The fact that we bastardize it, and I say we, just because I happen to be a part of the country, but the government, the powers that be here, are doing it, overseas. And that's a driving force. It's like, okay, you know what? I don't think it's smart to go, hey, let's try to run off of batteries for the rest of our lives. When we're importing batteries too, it's not like we have a plethora of lithium here. Like, we have to import that crap too. So we don't have a sustainable energy other than nuclear. Everybody pretty much has the nuclear option. And I don't mean in a bomb way, of course. I mean, doing certain things, converting it using nuclear. It is minus, neglect and stupidity and laziness and things that, result in large catastrophes. Probably the safest, cleanest stuff we got, but we're, of course, not, we're not going to go there. Anyway, that's a bigger picture thing. But yeah, so that's what I was curious. So from your perspective, or from the Iraqi people, or at least as you've seen it, Saddam was a good influence on the country, and the destabilization, democracy, like the assumption is just, democracy, and that's the thing. As Americans, we've been taught, you could say programmed, democracy is awesome. Democracy is awesome. Well, if bringing democracy into a country means violence and contention and everything else, maybe there's a time and a place for it, and maybe, just maybe, other people, the way they live their lives, democracy isn't necessarily the thing. I mean, I'm not somebody who thinks like morality is relative, but I also don't think democracy is morality. I don't think a system of government is morality. I think it's a preference, it's a cultural thing. And yeah, but like you said, it wasn't we want to bring peace and freedom to these people. It's we want to keep our oil line going. Because the sanctions, because the sanctions and U.S. invasion weren't about the U.S. seizing oil for itself. It was about forcing Iraq to keep exporting oil, because Iraq is a major oil player, so that the world can function like normal. That's right, you don't need foreign oil. Norway is a friend and ally. You don't need its oil. Please, we want no trouble. I mean, as far as I know, Jonas, Norway, yeah, y'all are chill. Like, I don't know of any. I don't, but who knows? Who knows? Tomorrow, there could suddenly be something in Norway that we must desperately have, and so we're gonna do crazy crap. But yeah, I mean, the problem is there is no, like I said, hydrogen. If that pulls out, that's great. That's the world is 70% water. That works out okay. But lithium is not renewable. It's, if you look at the countries that get mined for it, it's incredibly destructive. It's not recyclable. It has to be buried or waste management crazy stuff with it. I mean, there might be some forms of it that are recyclable, but it's like, we keep pushing things that are not viable alternatives, and I'm pretty damn sure there is something out there that is a good alternative, but it's not a moneymaker. It's not something where people can capitalize off of it. So the patent has been bought up, or it just has been shuffled under, or perhaps not going conspiracy theory. Nobody's pursuing it. Nobody's getting funding to pursue it because nobody stands to make money from, hey, if we develop hydrogen power, once you figure out the tech, you can just live off of the water, and you don't. I mean, everything's out wouldn't be peachy keen with that. And I'm not saying that's the answer, but clearly there is a market. There's an electric car market. There's whatever stuff. So I don't know, but all I'm saying is, I don't see an option to go off of oil at this point, just because even if we do that and we go to we got the schmuck in California. California is having brown power outages, or brownouts. They manually shut off the power because after a certain time, because it overloads the grid. And this same state that's having electric crazy issues is like, we want the entire state to be run off. We want all the cars to be on electricity by like 2030 or 2033. It's like, dude, you can't even handle the electric stuff you got now. Where do you think all the charging is going to come from? If everybody has to charge their car. Anyway, I don't want to get mired in that kind of stuff, but I'm just saying there's craziness all around. I think you're safe in Norway, and we got to figure something out. But hey, to what Macaro said earlier, maybe we should all start riding bikes and say, look, you need to move closer to where you're working, decentralize out of the cities, and find ways to make more walking commutes like they did in the olden days. and then we're good to go. Exactly. If a country has been running normally for years and years on its own rules without foreign influence, then I don't think it needs to import a new way of governance for it to prosper more. Yep, 100%, Macaro. And now I remember talking, we had an AP history class, and it was just a regular class, I think. Anyway, but we were talking about the different world views that you can have, like, as a country. Are you isolationist? Are you... I know there's a whole bunch of stuff, but isolationist is what I went with, and it's not, oh, we don't talk to anybody else, but it's like, we'll do trading, but we're not going to solve your problems, and we're also not going to try to impose our will and our way of life onto you. And conversely, we're not necessarily looking for an influx of other stuff. We're going to try to self-maintain, and like I said, still trade, still be friendly, but we're not responsible for, nor are we privileged to say this is what you need to do, and this is how you need to run your life, and this is how things need to be done, or we're not going to trade with you. Which, I mean, it gets a little dicey. I'm not saying there's anything particularly that I'm thinking of with Iraq or any other country, but I mean, I know it does get, if like, okay, you got child labor, do we continue to promote that? And crazily enough, we do. I mean, Nike is well known for that's what they do stuff, and people are still buying the crap out of that. So apparently we don't have moral scruples in that regard. And by we, of course, I mean the powers that are, controlling commerce. But we find different things to nitpick and have issues with. So I don't know. It's a much bigger world than, or much bigger issues than I am. But I've just become increasingly bummed at the amount of meddling America has done, and it's not like especially. I mean, to be fair, like, I hate to say it. Well, I hate to say it, but I've gotten to the point where I'm like, look, if I'm not willing to go fight for something, or if I would not send my son or be okay with my son, I don't have one, but if I did, to go fight for something, then I'm not going to say, let's go to war, or let's send troops over, because, it's got to be something where if I can't ask other people to go fight a war that I'm not willing to do myself. If it's not important enough for me to lay down my life, I can't point the fingers at, well, you should go do it though. You should go fight and die. It's important enough for you to do it, but I don't want to do it. I'd rather deal with the consequences of not actually having the fight. But America's first is spoken by some like it's a dirty phrase. It makes perfect sense. Your government should work for the interests of the people living in your country. It's not riots, rocket scientists. Yeah, Jonas. Yeah, and that is the thing. And again, without going, straying too political, but yeah, that's the whole confusion I have when they're like, oh, MAGA. Now, I understanding that there are, depending on what you think or whatever, that there's a whole bunch of stuff attached to that. It's not just a thing, but make America great again. Like, yeah, when we had like a businessman running the country, he was saying, yeah, we're not shipping out our jobs. Our jobs are going to stay here, and you're going to be penalized as a company if you do ship out your jobs, because we need the economy here, and we need, the wages here. Hey, we're going to have to get used to paying a little bit more to get, stuff made domestically. And again, we're not saying screw you to the world, but we're going, we've got problems here. We've got an economy. We're trillions of dollars in debt. Like, we're not in a healthy place. This is not a thing where we can be like, oh, we're going to, be benevolent. I mean, I don't know how much we've, well, anyway, but yes, Jonas, I'm actually glad to hear that, because there are people that are like, oh, that's so selfish, it's so self-centered. I'm like, because here's the thing, I will say, like, to me, it's a part and parcel thing. If you're going to say we're going to send aid to a country, now I'm not talking about like humanitarian aid or like there's a hurricane or something, but it's like, okay, if we're going to, and I don't think any country's asked for it, but if they said, hey, we want money for, I don't know, whatever number for X, to say we'll give it to you under certain conditions. I don't think that's ridiculous, because you're kind of trying to protect your investment. In theory, you're not just giving it out of charity, you're giving it for a reason. So you're going to have some conditions, and if they're not met, you don't do the money thing. But I don't think it should be either one. I don't think, like I said, humanitarian aid, that's something else. Hey, you went through a typhoon, let's help you. There's no strings attached there. But a lot of this other stuff, it's like, yeah, you need to know where your money's going, and if it's not something that's going to be beneficial to you, you've got to really ask yourself why you're doing it, and can you afford it? And as a country, we've never done that, I don't think. In the 1980s, let's see, society should work bottom up, not top down. Yep. Well, and that's why, I mean, the founding fathers here said the government should fear the people, not be terrified of the people, but you are responsible. You are supposed to represent the people. And if the people say this is what we want, as a representative, it's your job to get it done, not to dictate to us what needs to happen. So, I mean, that's the whole point of a representative republic, is saying this is what we would like, this is what we the people want, and you do it. And it was a lot easier when it was a smaller country, obviously, because you had a lot less complications and a lot less tomfoolery. And you had your local representative probably lived, in the same neighborhood as you, or, within walking distance. Whereas now here, you can send them an email and they may get it. But yeah, 100% agree. It's the government is supposed to be in service of the people, not the other way around. Like typically, like George Washington, one of the reasons that I had a lot of respect for the guy, he did not want to be president. He went off to farm at Mount Vernon, said, I'm done, I fought, we got the revolution going, you guys handle all the law stuff. And they said, no, we want you. He did not want to be, because it's a public service. Like politicians should be, above all, public servants. They are serving the public. They're not there for prestige. They're not there to gain wealth. They're there to serve the public, to listen to the complaints, to listen to the demands, to listen to those things, to filter them through, and to honestly and directly represent their interests and their views and their complaints to the governing body. But we have our own healthcare. We have our own this. We're elitist. We are above you. We have different rules that we abide by. We have different rules that we're accountable for. And we function and we'll make rules and laws that we ourselves don't have to follow. And that's not the way it should be I don't think for any country, really, honestly. But certainly not here. That's not the way the Constitution was written. That's not how our country is supposed to be functioning. And we'll just have to see what happens in the next coming years and see if we just continue to go off a cliff or if there's some kind of stemming of the bleeding. We'll have to see. In the 1980s, even though Iraq was waging wars and losing its infrastructure, the economy was still fine and we were still exporting oil. It's just the invasion of Kuwait, a really oil-rich country, that screwed us over. Well, and that's the thing, Macaro, and it's a good and bad thing, but war is known as a economy booster. I mean, World War II got us out of World War I. Was it World War I? I think it was World War I got us out of the... No, World War I was in the early 1900s. We had the Great Depression, 1920s into 1930s. World War II was part of what got us out of it, or all of what got us out of it. The war, I mean, it's just an objective fact. It's not necessarily, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but war does stimulate the economy. And I'm sure there's other better ways to do it, but that is a thing. So, like you're saying, we had wars going on, but the economy was chugging along. Hey man, if I as a citizen in a heavy socially democratic nation can appreciate Trump's agendas, don't you feel ashamed too? Oh, Jonas, you're making me bite. You're making me bite. It always comes back to the Lord of the Rings. The best king is he who is reluctant to seek the power, but is called to it by the people who wants his guidance. And Jonas, I'll say this. Look, this is probably the most political thing I'm ever going to say here. But it's heavily political, honestly. I'm painting a target, but I don't care. Trump's a millionaire. If you can look back in the 1980s, and Oprah Winfrey, who's a buddy of his at the time, was like, hey, are you going to run for president? He's like, I don't know. I really don't want to. It's not something I'm really interested in. It's really ugly. It's not a great time. It's not something I want to do. But if I need to, if there's a time where, in order to straighten things out, if that time comes, then I might consider it. But I would rather not. Like, that's actually an interview he had with... Now, I'm not saying that's verbatim, but I remember I was watching that clip. It was about a week and a half ago. And I'm like, the guy has millions. He is not benefiting personally from being president. He is not... I mean, if anything... Like, the funny thing is, I never... The Apprentice or whatever show he was on, I didn't watch it. I didn't care for it. I heard him do that. He does the voice, oh, you're fired, whatever. It wasn't a thing. But all I know is... politicians are almost fundamentally corrupt in some way or another. I'm not trying to besmirch all politicians, but there is a level of corruption or compromise that has to be made in order to fight in that arena. And it's done, like, what is it? Insanity is doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. If you just have continuous politicians, career politicians coming through, making bank off of the American people, making bank off of our system, when is it going to change? How is it going to change? If anything, and I know people aren't big on the guy, but I mean, if you take out the social media, take out what he says, we were better off economically and in many, many other ways with him as the leader. I'm not saying it's because of him, but his policies, the way he went through it. Anyway, bottom line, that's to say, Jonas, I appreciate your perspective on that, and trust me, you're preaching to the choir in that regard. I am, again, I don't put my faith or my belief or my hope in one person, but I don't see anybody else that's willing to. I mean, the guy got, depending on what, which media. I mean, if you listen to our media, there's never been an assassination attempt. He was carried off the stage after he got scared and slipped. That's what CNN said for like 6 hours after the assassination attempt. Loud noise startles Trump, falls on his face, gets carried off stage. That was the story. But at the very least, one assassination, perhaps three. He doesn't need that. He didn't need that. But he's not going away. Like, if anybody could just live in luxury, go off to Mar-a-Lago or whatever the heck, and just spend out the rest of his days, he doesn't need to be going into getting trials and everything. The only reason they're coming out, if he was not running, they would not be coming after him. So if he really just didn't want to have anything to do with this and just said, you know what, screw it, this is a pain in the ass. I'm not benefiting from this. See ya. All of it goes away. All the bad press, everything. I'm sure people would be, oh, he's on X again, making ridiculous statements. Oh, that guy. They hate him because he's actually trying to do it. And so anyway, I know that is, well, I honestly don't know how many people in this country believe that. But Jonas, at least it was good to hear that perspective from you. So I appreciate that. And like I said, trust me, you are preaching to the choir in that regard. Yeah, you'd think that such a rich country would not need to tax its citizens so expensively and make its healthcare and other services pretty cheap, but nope, it's the exact opposite. It's the exact opposite hurting the public. Yep. We have the same here. Norway is so rich, but that mostly is going to the state now. We're one of the highest taxed people and are so rich in oil and hydro energy, yet we're bled dry. Jonas, you said you guys didn't have a ton of oil. You lied to me. We're coming after you, Norway. Well, here's the thing. So, Jonas, there was a guy, I was watching a YouTube guy. Was it YouTube? No. I had a conversation with a guy where I got my motorcycle fixed, actually, and he's traveled the world. He's been all over the place. He was military for a little while, and then he was just doing stuff. And I asked him, I said, if you could live in a country outside of America, which one would it be? And he actually said Norway. And he said, because, even though he's, red-blooded American, whatever he said, I'm not opposed to the government having more control and more authority when it comes to things like healthcare, as long as it's done responsibly. And as long as it's done, fairly, and it's a good system. The problem here, every time we try to do something, it's so convoluted. There's so much red tape, and there's so much. It's not pork. Is it pork? I think it's called pork. There's so much crap put in there that does not go where it needs to go. Like you're saying, Macaro, all the wealth that we should have, it's not going where it needs to go. Even our fund, our relief funds, aren't going where they need to go. The vast majority of them aren't. And it's like, But he was saying Norway, and so I'm now that was probably at least 5 to 10 years ago. Has there been a change, Jonas, in the past 5 or 10 years in that system, or is he perceiving it as an outsider, somebody who was visiting there? I think he was there for a year, maybe 2, maybe not that. I don't know, because I don't know if he could live in Norway for that long without getting like citizenship. But he was there for more than it was more than a vacation. But he had this impression that you guys kind of had it together when it came to like the idea. If you have an ideal form of socialism, if you're going to make the government in charge of a lot more stuff, at least it's a competent government. But then he also went on to say that I think we're also a lot bigger, 320 million or something like that people. And so it can be a lot harder to manage it when you have much bigger people. I'm not sure what the population of Norway is, but anyway, I mean, that was the only bit that I've heard is that out of the countries that have the kind of socialist, like healthcare and that kind of thing, Norway's got it down. But Macaro, the crazy thing is we did not have federal tax before World War I. Somehow, this country got along just fine without federal tax until World War I. Then it was like, hey, we're going to tax, we have a little bit of a tax to fund the war effort. After that's over, no more tax. Didn't go away, it just got bigger. Most of us are paying, even if you don't have, if you're making 20 grand a year, 20, 25 grand, maybe that's a little bit low, but 30 grand a year, you're paying between 25 and 30% in taxes. They're taking a quarter of your wages, and that's in the low bracket. That's like at the lowest. For what? So yeah, it is a crock. We should not even have a federal tax at this point because we aren't getting free healthcare. I mean, again, there's no such thing as free. It's coming from somewhere. And like Jonas, you said, the highest taxed. And that's the thing. I got my good friends up in Canada there, IO. I remember every time I'd look at the back of a novel, like you go to a bookstore and in the back of the novel, US $5.75, Canada $9.75 or $7.75. It was like $2 or $3 on $5 more in Canada. And we were like, what the heck do they got going on in Canada? We didn't know about healthcare at the time. We were kids, we were like 10, 12 years old. All we knew is Canada is really freaking expensive. And, then to come to find out, well, that's why you can have the things that they have. Whether or not they're worth it, that's something it could be debated. I don't know firsthand, but all I know is you're paying for it. And so the dummies here that are like, oh, we want free healthcare. Stop saying that. Say you want government funded healthcare or government sponsored or government run healthcare, but just know damn well that you're going to pay out the ass for it. And if you ain't working, shut up. If you're not contributing to our economy, don't be saying you want free healthcare. You need to be working your ass off because you need to pay taxes that are going to pay for that free healthcare. Let's see. Standard of living is high. Services are good. But right now, 1/3 of the people are in the public sector. Wow. And the people building industry are taxed so much they opt out and move to Switzerland. No kidding. If we didn't have oil, let's just say you can't tax yourself to wealth, right? Jeez. And that's weird, Jonas, because I never thought of Norway. Like, Iraq, obviously it's like synonymous with oil, Saudi Arabia, synonymous with oil. Never thought about Norway having oil. I figured I kind of got a little bit of the hint when you started going, oh no, we don't have oil. Don't look at us. I was like, wait, you guys actually have oil? I never thought of it that way. But so yeah, and let me ask you this, because I remember talking to Baldrick, and I asked him about like media, like movies and things like that. And it was like, I asked him like, hey, can you list some shows or movies that are native from Croatia that like were released there that you could recommend me? And he gave me like 3 titles. I'm sure there are more. I'm not saying that he said that's all there is, but it was like, we import most of our like entertainment, like from America, whatever. So you said 1/3 of the country pretty much is working in the was it infrastructure, or you said public sector, which wait, did you guys you're the country that funded, you're the ones who funded what is that Dustborn, isn't it? You guys forked out a chunk of change to that absolute piece of garbage. I'm obviously not pointing at you with any malevolence. It's a joke, but yeah. Why Dustborn was funded and developed in Norway. The entire studio, it's a money. Okay, well, I don't want to get into the commentary, but yeah, I thought I remembered that. Yeah, Dustborn. You guys publicly funded a portion of Dustborn? What? If we didn't have oil, yeah, it's because America's economy absolutely boomed in World War I solely from exporting weapons, food, and loaning money. It was mostly America's industry being the main economy backer. Yep. Jonas, yeah, I paid for Dustborn, not personally. Yeah, and that's what made me think of that. When you said public sector, I remembered like the BBC. The BBC, if you have a TV, you have to pay a tax, a mandatory tax that funds the BBC, funds the British, whatever, and the state or the government makes their movies, makes their shows. If you don't like the show, you can't cancel, you can't not subscribe. You are stuck paying for something that you either don't want to watch or you think is absolutely atrocious, and the quality is crap, the writing is crap, doesn't matter. That's publicly funded, you've got to pay for it. So when you said public services, like, I wonder if that actually includes your media. Like if that's kind of looped into that and you're just kind of stuck paying with whatever gets pushed out, whether you like it or not. Now you get it. Yeah. Macaro, most of America's initial population traveled to it simply because job opportunities in Europe were scarce and America was still new and almost empty compared to Europe. So the big immigration happened. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we were largely, I mean, we had, I don't even know what either the PC or the most accurate term honestly is, because it's even said that like the Native Americans, so we have Indians here. There's actually tribes that prefer to be called Indians. because we had this big thing. They took. It used to be the Washington Redskins. That was our football team. I actually have the helmet right there. It's got the cool logo on it. Loved it growing up. It was actually a sign of respect. Nobody names a mascot after somebody that they think is lesser than. If you look at the depiction of the warrior in the Redskin logo, it's one of the best pieces of art in the league. But they changed it because somebody, in theory, found it offensive and apparently had good reason to, in theory. But they're coming out now saying, no, we were totally fine. We like, people called Braves. We like stuff because it's like we're part of this country. But anyway, that's something else. But to say that there's, even though it's a misnomer. They were named Indians by Columbus because he thought was in India. He thought he made it to India, so he's like, these are Indians. It's like, no. So I call them Native Americans, but in theory they migrated here as well. But yes, kind of to your point, Macaro, aside from them, really largely, and I'm sure like Mexico on the west side, we and Texas, I believe Texas was we got Texas. Well, let's not go into that. But yeah, it was a largely unpopulated continent. So yeah, we just had an influx and we were a melting pot. But the key to a melting pot is you have to melt. You can't come into this country from another country and want to have everything that you had in your country, because then we just become pockets, a microcosm of other countries. And that's not a melting pot is, hey, here's some of my cultures and my beliefs. Some of it sticks, some of it doesn't, some of it, evolves into something else. We adopt different things. We have Tex-Mex, we've got American cuisine meets Mexican food, and there you got Tex-Mex. It has to be a melting pot, and more now, and I think it's worldwide. But like here, there's less melting of the pot. It's people coming and not learning the language, not learning the customs, not learning the culture. I've had to pick up, I don't know how much used, like wiped my butt with it, toilet paper when I worked as a lifeguard at a Lake Anna State Park. I was a lifeguard there, and when I came off the lifeguard stand, every time we rotated through, I had to go in there and clean up the bathroom, because people from our southern, our southern neighbors there who don't know jack about our culture, haven't tried to learn it, they don't have good plumbing in their country, so they can't flush toilet paper down the toilet. They have little waste baskets that they put used toilet paper in. We don't have those waste baskets because we flush our toilet paper. Whether that's a good thing or not, whatever, but that's the thing here. But they don't know that, so they just throw their fecal infested toilet paper on the floor. I'm like, that's not melting, guys. That's not melting. You need to melt. I should not be cleaning up poop rags. Ah, that chapped my ass. We have our own. Okay, so yeah, you have the same version of the BBC. So yeah, I used to have to pay a specific bill for it because I owned a TV. Now it's just baked into my taxes. I was about to say, oh, good, you got away from it because you watch just like YouTube and stuff like that. But no, it's they get you one way or another. I would like to move closer to a freer market where I can opt out of such a service and let it compete with the rest. Exactly. Yep. But things like this is part of why it's getting harder and harder to accumulate personal wealth here. So Jonas, do you think so? Again, I'm not an expert in your government or anything like that. But you did say, what was it? I'm trying to remember how you referenced it. Heavy social democrat. Okay, social democrat. Do you see a way that system doesn't degrade? Like you're saying, it's getting harder and harder. So it seems to be that on this course, there is a regression or a deterioration of like quality of life. Or, I mean, not quality of life. You said the quality of life is pretty high, but like you were saying, personal wealth. Is it, which in theory, I'm guessing with socialism, or what my understanding of it means, that the country is doing well almost at the expense of the individual, which from what I understand is kind of the deal with Denmark. Like they did a poll of like the most happiest people in the world. And they're like, they live in Denmark. It's like, yeah, because you're told, and I'm not saying this unequivocally, but it was like, it's if the country's doing well, we're doing well. We're happy because we are all happy, versus like if I were to move there as an individual, go, well, this sucks, and this sucks. And they're like, but it's for the greater good. And I'm like, but I'm not here for the greater good. like I'm not selfish or self-centered, but I am an individual. I'm not defined by the community or by the country. So, I don't know. But my question is, do you think that is a natural progression or digression? That's just the way it has to happen? Or do you see a way that system can exist realistically without going that route, where you could still have a healthy, stabilized or wealthy country and also have citizens that are prosperous in it? Or is this kind of the natural way of things? Like it just kind of snowballs on itself. Can you please turn off the game? Oh, music rep. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot. There's a game here. Yeah, let me do this. Oops. Okay. I don't know how to go. Sorry about that. I totally forgot the music because I took the earbuds out, so I couldn't hear the music, but you all could. But things like this is just part of why it's the state is doing well at the expense of the people's ability to prosper personally. Yes. And so, Jonas, from your perspective, as somebody who, as far as I understand, grew up there, is that ideal? Is that what you want? Is that kind of the goal? Like, is that I guess, for lack of a better term, is that the culture where you say, we understand we have to take some hits as individuals in order for the state, in order for the bigger picture, I guess, to thrive? Is that an acquiescence? Is that an acknowledgement? Is that something that most people are accustomed to, whether because they were brought up in that or because they just see it as that's the best way to do it? Or is it like, well, we're willing to do it to a certain degree, but then we're going a little too far. Now we're really losing a lot of our autonomy and our ability to, and our motive. Because the thing, and that was one of the big deals with, and I would say with a more social government, like one of the downsides is, well, if you take away people's capacity to make money, if you say, okay, if you work really, really hard, or you work not really a lot and you just do enough to get by, you're going to make the same amount. There's a cap on what you can make. There's a cap on how far in life you can go. You're never going to own a really nice boat. You're never going to be able to retire like super early. You're never going to be able to take, certain trips. Because we cap your potential because, for the greater good kind of thing. And then you go, okay, well then where does the drive, where does the ambition, when do people invent, when does new stuff come out? If you're capped and you can't go anywhere, why wouldn't you just kind of do the bare minimum? Like, what's the incentive to keep going? So that's why I'm curious. Like I said, I grew up in a certain way of life and I'm just curious about other ones. Is that okay? Or is that like, yeah, it's kind of we prefer it that way? Or is it only to a certain degree? Or is it even no, hey, we'd much rather be awesome individuals and have the same, because I'll be honest, on for here, my beliefs are smaller government. Like I want the government to, like we have, a national defense, for the country, interstate travel. So highways that go in between the different states, and something else. I can't remember what it is. There's one other thing, but that's it. Like if I had my druthers, that's all the national government does. The state government then in the individual states handles other things. So that way, hey, you don't like something in one state, you go to another state because they run it differently. And that way you can go, hey, I like a blue state. I want it to be run more, more like, this, and you get to go there, versus anything else. So that's my thing. And even then state government should be small. I want as much agency and autonomy for the individual as possible, as much responsibility and privilege for the individual as possible. And then you have your friends and you have your family and you have churches or charities that can kind of fill in the gaps, the people that fall short or you run on hard times or whatever. But I don't think it's up to the government. Personally, that's my thing. I don't, especially with how our government's doing the things, I personally don't want our government to get bigger. I don't want our government to have more overreach. And the thing is, if it does get smaller, we're paying less taxes. even if the healthcare doesn't go down, which it should, Makaro, to your point, that our healthcare should not be what it costs now. But part of that is we are very litigious. I think I'm using that right. I mean, I know I'm using it right, but I think I got the right word. Hey, you didn't get, you told me that there was a 30% chance that this surgery was going to fail. It failed. I'm going to sue you. And the jury is sympathetic because isn't it sad that the surgery didn't happen? So we're going to award you $5 million. Well, guess what? The insurance is paying that. It's not coming out of the doctor's pocket. It's probably not coming out of the hospital's pocket. The insurance is there to cover those things. So part of it is, you have these frivolous lawsuits and ridiculous things that are done that actually inflate it. And of course, you've got the drug companies that are gouging the crap out of it. But even if it stayed the way it is, and I wasn't having to spend 30%, 33% of my income to the government, that would pay for pretty much any healthcare I've ever needed. Like every time I've gone and because I haven't had health insurance many, many times, not by choice, just I couldn't afford it. I was an independent contractor and it was just unaffordable. And so I was paying out of pocket. And in a year I spent $2,000 maybe, I got an ear infection, bronchitis, broke my ankle or fractured my ankle, had to get a boot, so it cost some money, but it didn't break the bank. And if I didn't have to pay taxes, that's more money for that. Anyway, I've been gone way too late. A bit late, but why didn't you get the game on PC? Oh, sorry, Makaro. Because one, as you kind of saw, as we were talking about with the computer thing, I didn't want to put more strain on the PC. I knew I was going to be streaming, or I wanted to stream gaming, and I wanted to put as less strain on the computer as possible. So I figured if I was piping in stuff from old school systems, I'd prefer that. Most of the time I want physical copies. So pretty much everything other than Katana Zero, Shredder's Revenge, Mega Man X Collection, Castlevania, Contra, Mario, Moon Rider, Fighting Collection, Dragon Ball Z. So Fighting Collection, not yet because it hasn't come out on digitally or real physical copy, but when it does, I'll be getting it on that. Wonder, all of these games I have on as physical media because I'm not into this whole streaming. You don't own anything. What is it? The World Economic Forum? You will own nothing and be happy. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. So I just kind of got in the habit of wanting to buy it. And the only current system I have is a Switch. So, and I figured, hey, it's portable. It's if like the more games I have for the Switch, the more flexibility I have on where I play my games and how extensive the library is. Whereas the PC, I'm kind of rooted here. And as I said, I didn't want the PC to have to be pumping out power for the game as well as running OBS and the camera and everything else. So that was kind of the main reason for it. It can work so long as you don't introduce so many taxes and regulations that it de-incentivizes or disincentivizes growth in the private sector. Mr. Incarnate, from your experience, what do you think is better to be overall, public or private sector? Seeing as how over 90% of employees in America are in the private sector. The problem is the public sector, my biggest beef with it, there's no accountability. Like, the biggest example is our mail system. Like, you can go UPS, United Parcel Service, maybe, or you can go FedEx. So you have alternatives. They're more expensive, but they have tracking and they're companies. So if I don't like one company, I can go to the other one. They're kind of regulating each other on price. And more importantly, because they don't want you going to the competitor. If I say, hey, you guys, if I contact customer service and say, hey, where's my package? The tracking says it's just nowhere. They're not just like, oh, TS, sorry. First of all, you can actually get a hold of somebody. And second of all, they're going to do what they got to do to try to find it for you, or you compensate you. USPS, the United States Postal Service, I've had packages where it's like, we don't know where it is. Hopefully it'll turn up. There's nobody you can talk to. You can walk into the post office and they'll say, sorry, we don't know anything. If it's not here, it's not here. That's it. You get no help and there's no accountability. There's nowhere you can go. You can't say, let me talk to your manager, because their manager is government. It's government. So at least for us, public institution, and that goes for anything, any local government thing, anything like that, the accountability is pretty much bupkis. So, unless you're talking like a scandal or something, there's really they have no incentive to be better. They have no incentive to give you good customers. Like some of the, and hey, I'm not trying to say there are some friendly faces at the DMV. That's our Department of Motor Vehicles, or BMV, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, whichever it is for your state. There are some fine people that work there. And I know it's very, very difficult to work with people when it comes to getting your license and everything. But some of the least friendliest people, the most grouchy and disgruntled and crappy customer service, are in the public sphere, because there is, you say, oh, this person's doing it. They don't care, because if you get crappy service, where are you going to go? You have to get your license through the government. You can't get it through you can't go to the competition. You have to go through the government. When there is no other alternative, they've got you pinned to the wall, and they know it. And so they have no desire, no need, and no effort is put into to go above and beyond, because that is a customer service thing. We are not the customer. We are obligatory users of your system. By law, we are required to use you. And so I would say, just on a very superficial level, off the cuff, I would say private, just because typically, and that's why we say you can't have a monopoly, because that takes away the whole point of having public things. Because if you only have one public option, then they can do what the government does and say, hey, you don't like our customer service? Tough crap. If you want internet, you've got to just work with whatever you got. Whereas here, if I call up, like, I've twice now, 2 or 3 times, my internet went up by like a significant number. It was like $75 a month, and it went up to 100. And I called them up and said, hey, what happened? They said, well, we gave you an introductory offer on the internet for a year, but now it's returned to $100. I was like, so wait, if I was a brand new customer right now, I'd get $75 rate. So let me just spell this out for you. I'm either going to drop you and go with your competitor, or you're going to treat me like a new customer because you want to retain my business. And now I'm not anywhere near cool enough to say it like that, but that's kind of what I was saying in a roundabout way. And they did it. They went back down to 75 because they didn't want me to go somewhere else. If I don't have that option, they just say, go ahead, go without internet, see how long it lasts. Take care. Bye-bye. So for that reason alone, I would say, and that's not taking into consideration other factors, to be sure, but that alone to me is it makes the private sector more desirable. Personally, I'm a small government person. I may be a lot more American at heart than most of my countrymen, but I think a lot of people are also seeing the same cracks as I do. I want to say, I hate to say, I want to say that's fantastic, Jonas, but I mean, I know that sounds like not self-congratulatory, but I mean, I don't have a control over, I didn't create the government. I didn't create this way of doing things. So there's no pride in that. I'm not like, well, yeah, our way of doing things. It's like, no, there may be an ideal way, or a way that functions better, even if it is broken. But I can't deny that it's nice to have somebody, where there's overlap, especially in other places of the world. Like I said, most of my friends now, like aside from my best friend and a gal pal that I talked to in Texas, everybody else is from around the world. And it's just crazy how much overlap and common things we have in common. Sometimes more so than a lot of people that I live near. It's bizarre. So I can't say, but again, that's not a gloat. That's not oh yeah. Like I said, I would wish we had the metric system when I was going through school. Right now I'm doing editing for Guinness Book of World Records, and we have to the longest, what was it? The longest eyelash. And it's like, it's so easy in meters. It's like that can't be that, right? No, it's like 0.5 or 0.7 meters or something. But then that's like something 0.23 whatever inches. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. Macaro, difference between small and big governments is the total number of federal governments, right? Wow. So government funded services are bad across every country, no matter its GDP or how much budget that service got. Yes, Macaro. Yes. Actually, I don't think the government spends that much on public sector services, does it? Not as much as we would like to believe, Macaro. I don't believe in that. And that's at the crux. When we talk about, over here, people are jumped to say, oh, it's tribalism. People on one side of the aisle. How you perceive government, how you perceive human nature in that regard, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And that kind of thing. How you see people and government, give people power. If you think overall people with power are benevolent and they care about their people and they put the people first, and they're not going to be greedy. They're not going to be opportunistic. And that is the trend, that you're going to have some exceptions, but most of the time, people with a lot of money and a lot of authority are going to be benevolent about it and are really they're going to try to put money where it needs to be, even though it's had to pass through their hands, or it can pass through their hands through bribes or through backdoor shenanigans. Hey, we're going to pass this law, but we want to put this little clause in there that X group gets, $50,000, and then I get 5,000 of that once it goes to you. Like, provided that, people are good and aren't going to take advantage of that, then you think, hey, big government, and this is not applicable to everybody, or maybe most people, but there's a lot of people, I don't want to really have to do much. I really want things taken care of for me. I don't want to have to worry about investment. I don't have to worry about saving. I just want the government to give me things. I just want to be given stuffs. And it's certainly not fair to paint everybody like that, but there are a lot of people who they do. They would rather get a free paycheck and have no pride in their work, have no job, have nothing to do in their life. They just want to sit there and watch TV and not have to do anything. But for the most part, I think there are people who trust the institutions and think these are for the better. They're left to their own devices. They are going to do right by their citizens, with few exceptions. Whereas somebody like me has looked at people in different scenarios and different levels of authority, and has looked at what our government has done in the past and what other governments have done. Most of the time, unless you're talking about actual war, like, the Slavs versus the Germanic people. That's probably not really didn't happen. But like, back when you actually had warring nations, as a frequently thing, aside from that, people are typically most hurt and oppressed by their own freaking government. It's not other people. It's not a company. It's not, and I'm not saying companies don't do crappy things, but it's usually the government oppressing its own people and doing things to screw its own people over. So I think history, to me, from my paradigm, history has proven governments are not to be trusted. That ultimately you are going to have more corruption, more, filling their own pockets and doing things that work for them and have their own agenda. It's not going to be for the good of the people. So to your point, Macaro, no, I don't believe that the vast majority of the money that is taken ostensibly for public services actually goes to those things. And to another point, we have like programs like food stamps there's like, I don't know, $30 million, some ridiculous number that goes into that program, and it's used, only a fraction of that gets used. So you have bloat, and then you have misallocated funds, to put it nicely. Wow, an American that rues the imperial measure system. I couldn't be happier. I mean, you got to face facts. And I will say, as much as I'm not a big fan of SNL current iteration, I liked SNL back in the day. They had a funny sketch where I can't remember the comedian's name, but it was like George Washington, and he had like three guys with him, and he was talking about this great nation and what was going to make this great nation. He's like, and we will have our own measurement system. He's like, a foot will be about this big. It's like, what? And they go to, it's very well written. It's pretty funny. Now, of course, they have to throw, racism in there and stuff, whatever. But for the most part, the sketch is pretty funny. And it really is the most absurd thing. Like, why did we buck the trend? And really, it's just so much more precise. So it just makes so much more sense. The problem is, somebody like me, especially, I'm a crotchety 44-year-old man. I learned the imperial system. If you tell me a meter, I have to go, okay, a foot, yard is 3 feet. No, a meter is about 3 feet. So Darth Vader is 2.2 meters, I think, because he's like 6'5" or something. So like, I have a general idea, but I have to convert it in my head. And because I was raised on it, like, but you say, hey, it's about 6 feet long. I'm like, okay, that's, well, you can't see my hands, but like, I know how big 6 feet is. So it would require me to, relearn measure. A liter, I have no clue. A liter, I guess it's like about this big. It's a thing. We go by gallons, So anyway, that to say, I would hope like now, if we could start the conversion so that kids being raised now, no metric, it would just make life a whole lot easier. But if I had to take that, if somebody asked me point blank, hey, would you rather the country change over to metric and you have to learn the metric, or would you rather keep going at it? I'd say, okay, let's take the hit. We'll be the generation that takes the hit. I'm willing to learn the metric system. Let's get on the same page and just make things that much easier. Because it's just, I mean, fractions suck. Fractions absolutely suck. 1.5 is so much cleaner to me than 1.5. Anyway. Our Constitution was initially very inspired by the American Declaration of Independence, among others. Yes, the current version of Norway as a sovereign nation is younger than the USA. No kidding, Jonas. Interesting. I did not know that. Now, you say is the current version, is that post World War II then? Where was the delineation? Like where did current day Norway begin? Because that's a crazy thing. I always thought, I was like, man, we're like the youngest kids on the block, and we don't even have. I mean, we do have quite a few natural resources. I think our not our isolation, but our geographical location is probably what has contributed to our success the most. Canada, not terribly, aggressive. Mexico, initially we had some pushback, but not terribly aggressive. Whereas like Europe, you got, a lot of the neighbors, I mean, Macaro, as just don't get along. Or maybe even not even get along. There's just people that we want more. We want more land. We want more of this. I don't even know what the root cause. And then there's just hatred. Now, that is the American view. What we are told is they're just people who hate other groups of people. And it's not that they can't get along, they choose not to. At the same time, I think that, because if you have completely different culture, we even see that here. You can have completely different values as a culture and as a society, and they're not going to mix well. Right now we have oh boy, this gets political, but there are people that value quote unquote diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there are other people who value quality, like that prioritize that. There's some people, we want to hire people because we want a smattering of different color palettes, and we want a smattering of men and women. And then there are people that go, we want the best people for the job. Don't really care what you look like. Don't care if you're a man or a woman. We care that you can do your job, you're competent, and you have something to offer our company. Those are two different values. And they don't really cohabitate, because a priority, by definition, you can't have more than one priority. I mean, we have three priorities, but one is going to surmount them all. You can't, if your culture values a certain thing and another culture values something else, you're going to butt heads. And depending on how much that impacts your daily life, you can say, look, we can't live together. I mean, that's why like I said, I like the fact we have the states here. I can live in Texas. Texas is much more aligned with, now granted, we have a lot of places in Texas that aren't this way, but it aligns more with how I think we should do things, how government should run and certain social things. I like Texas better. Some people prefer California, pretty much polar opposite. But it's okay because we're not forced to live together. If you were to try to cram Texas and California into one landmass where we're just one big group, you would have a lot of fighting. Or a lot of animus at the very least, like because you just have two very different ways. And you would have one government would be calling the shots, essentially, depending on how people vote. And the other one would feel very put out. So I like the fact, I think trying to mush people together creates a lot more problems than it solves. Let's see. So it makes sense for there to be some ideological overlap when it comes to certain aspects. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely get that, Jonas. Definitely understand that. And I think we got ours from France, and there's two other countries I think that our independence came from. It wasn't just top off the head of the founding fathers, as it were. They got it from other governments as well, and their own experience. A lot of our amendments. We're big on certain amendments, and it's because they lived through a time where you weren't allowed, you didn't have free speech, and the only reason America was able to secede from, or, fight against England is we had the right to bear arms. That was, because we had them. I shouldn't say we had the right to, it wasn't a thing, but because we did. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. So we would have been fighting with pitchforks and hopes and dreams, and it would have ended very poorly. So when they did the Constitution and the amendments and everything, they were done because they said, hey, here's what has allowed us to get this far. Here are the things that we hated. You weren't allowed to speak ill against the crown and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, these are the rights we want to give the people because we've lived it. But yeah, all that to say, we've gotten our stuff. We've cherry picked from different others as well. So, it's the best ideas from around the world, I think, is probably the best. The ideal. Can you really say anything about the government without them doing anything like taking down your stream or something? Macaro, right now, yes. To a degree, it's hard. Like because YouTube and these other things are companies, they can decide that based on their terms of service and the ambiguity within that you have said something that is not okay. But and it's been admitted now. We knew it. A lot of us knew it. But like during our last election, there were channels, there were people who were essentially put down, like they were shoved down in the algorithm. Their channels were still there, but you couldn't search for them, you couldn't find them because they were saying things that didn't agree with the narrative. So the problem is, our government, in theory, is not supposed to be able to come out and shut people down. But if the government says, "Hey, YouTube, hey, Facebook, hey, whatever," these guys are saying stuff that our administration thinks is misinformation, or that we don't think it's good for the American people to be hearing this. We think it's dangerous. Do you think you could do something about that? And I mean, it's called collusion, unless I'm mistaken. So officially, no, the government can't. Freedom of speech. It's not freedom from consequence. But if I'm not slandering, if I'm not lying, if I'm not defaming, if I'm not calling for, insulting people and aggravating things, I should be able to say pretty much whatever the heck I want. But if the government can tell a corporation whose platform I'm using, this person is saying things we don't like, then you can have your voice taken away to some degree. But no, you can put it this way. You can criticize the government currently in this country. You can say whatever the heck you want to about the government. And really, I think there's a convergence of factors that would make it where you'd be targeted that way. Like somebody like my channel here, I don't think they give three figs about. It's a small reach, limited reach. I'm not saying anything, conspiratorially or whatever, not a big deal. But if I had a bigger platform, if I'm saying things that the powers that be don't really like, there can be actions taken, but not overtly. The government cannot overtly say, we don't like what you're saying about us, you're going to jail, or we're taking away your computer, or we're taking away your channel. The government cannot officially and overtly do that in this country, but there are much more subtle and nefarious ways to take somebody's voice if they really want to. But Macaro, am I understanding correctly? Because I've heard of this as well. That like in Iraq, that you really can't. Is that a true thing? Like if you were to go on a channel or something. Now I'm not trying to bait you here. Please don't say anything that would get you into trouble. But like if you were to say something about your government, if you were to say something about the people in power in a casual conversation, like I guess how much is that free as well? Because in my brain, I can't fathom. I can't get to a place where an opinion about the government is taboo. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's just, it would be such a foreign, no pun intended, a foreign concept to me that if I were to say, yeah, the current administration is crappy and the economy's crap because they're making really bad policy and they're doing this and this with the money, and pretty sure there's corruption there. Like you can even speculate and say, I think there's a lot of corruption. I think people are making bank on it. I'm not going to outright slander them and say they are doing this or they killed it. None of that. But you can certainly say, I think it's not only that they're running the country the wrong way, I think they're actually doing corrupt things, and nothing's going to happen. But my understanding is that's not the case all over the world. Wait a minute. What is this? Jonas, and what of colored men such as myself? Anyway, certain sports will use meters, but only swimming and running. Oh, yes, Jonas. Yes, you saw that sketch then. Oh, sorry, it took me a second. You saw that sketch. I was like, guys, really? I mean, they had to. I don't know. It's a sketch, so having I don't look at it like where it's like there's some things where it's like, okay, historical accuracy, guys. But as soon as I saw a black guy in there, I'm like, this is modern day SNL. I guarantee you, there's going to be some joke. It's going to be ostensibly a joke, but they're going to try to dig into the racism a bit. Which in the 80s and 90s, we would have all gotten a chuckle out of it. Undercover Brother pokes fun at race. Of all race, black people of all races, makes fun of everybody, and even watching it now, I don't feel like it's picking on white people or black or anybody. It was done by the director, I believe, was Spike Lee's brother, younger brother, I think, directed it, and it's mostly a black cast. I mean, it's Neil Patrick Harris is the only white guy in there, pretty much. Well, Denise Richards. But it's a fun movie. You could poke fun. You could make a joke about race and people would laugh at it. Now, when they try to make a joke about race, it's more like we're trying to make a statement. So it's not even really that funny. But Jonas, it's funny. You got that. But yeah, but it was a funny line. And what about colored men? Myself? He's like, no, we don't care about that or something. It was a very offhanded comment. It was funny, just with social context of the current situation. It's like, I don't know that joke was meant to be as fun as as it used to be. But hey, maybe they were. Maybe the writers were really just trying to poke fun at it. Maybe they said, hey, we need some levity here, so let's make a joke about this. But the sketch is funny. Jonas, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, certain sports will use meters, but only swimming and running. Right? Yeah, exactly. Okay, sorry, that's the other line. Yes. And anyways, certain sports. Yeah. No, that's the whole line. I'm sorry, man. I thought you were talking about something else. But yeah, that's the. he doesn't even answer him. He doesn't reject him. He just says, anyways. It just keeps going. Speaking of height, how tall am I? I am 6'2", or let's put this into practice. I think it's going to be 2 meters, maybe exactly. No, probably less than 2 meters, right? I am 1.879, or I'd say 1.88 meters tall. Yep. So a fair height. I'm happy with it. I feel like taller people, especially if you're not like an athlete or a star or something, you're just having to pay a lot more for. Oh crap. Wait. Nope. Okay. Yeah, so 6'2". That's not a bad height. We lost our sovereignty to Denmark in the 1300s. Okay, so a long time ago, after our royalty mostly died to the Black Death. Then they lost us to Sweden after picking the wrong side in the Napoleonic Wars. Aha. Dang, there was a lot more conflict with those nations back then than we think about. Like, well, my conception of like Denmark, Norway, Sweden, y'all are just chill. Like we don't want to fight. Leave us alone. Do your thing and just don't do anything to us. We have no oil here. There is no oil in Sa Sing Se or Ba Sing Se or whatever. But I guess back then there was a lot more. It was more not virile. Oh gosh, what's that word? Not vitriolic. It's not variance. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Meaning it was more in flux. It was a little less certain, less stabilized. So we declared independence and sovereignty in 1814. Okay, so roughly-ish about the same time we did, 1776, at about 30 years, and fully achieved it when Sweden let us go in 1905. Wow, okay, that's a long gap between. So how does that work, Jonas? You declare independence in 1814. We declared Declaration of Independence. We declared independence July 4th. I think it was 1776. Like that's when we became a nation. How do you declare independence and sovereignty and it take 90 years for it to actually happen? Like, how did that work? They're like, we're going to tax you. No, you're not. We're sovereign. No, you're us. You're with us. Like, was it you were still part of Sweden in name only? Like no, we still own you guys. You're still part of us, but we're going to let you do all your own stuff. Like, how does that work? Like, we declare we're independent. That's kind of a all or nothing thing, isn't it? Like you can't, it's not like, well, we're kind of independent. We're kind of still part of it. Macaro, I think one of, if not the most important natural resources in the U.S. is its arable lands. Yep, way over 1 million square kilometers, enough to feed about 500 million people to 1 billion people per year. Yeah, Macaro, and that honestly is why people like Bill Gates are trying to buy it all up. BlackRock, big investment firm, they're buying up property left and right. They're trying to consolidate that because you're absolutely right. It is arguably one. I mean, lots of farmland. Trying to buy it up and then not farm on it. They're not buying it to make profit off it. They're buying off of it so that it can't be touched. If Bill Gates had his way, we'd be eating bugs at this point. Now, I say that with understanding that I probably don't have the full context from what I've heard, but he is part of the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and they do have an agenda for the world. And it does not include, grass-fed beef. It doesn't include, what we consider to be a healthy diet. They want it to be, like lots and lots and lots and lots of vegetables and crickets and stuff like that. Anyway, I mean, we can call that speculative if we want. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but they are buying up farmland. They are buying up land here, and they've actually done some pretty heinous stuff, I think, to get it at this point. But you're right. That's to say, Macaro, you're very astute. That you're absolutely right. 1 hour of talking politics. I know. How did we get here? That's a good question. The desire to say what we've been cooking in our brains is what happened. There you go. There you go. That's probably the most accurate way to describe it. He got me going on trash talking government with him. That's how we got here. Well, I guess it started because here, I mean, if we really want to get down to it, because I'm always big on following the rabbit trail. I asked Macaro about how he perceived America, like how his country perceived it. Cause it was pitched initially, oh, we're going to save this country. We're doing it for them. And I bought the lie back then because I didn't know any better. And I just assumed the government knew what it was doing. But now that I've kind of had an awakening, and a lot of folks have, you're going, we've been spoon fed a lot of bull crap. Let me find out. Now that I've got somebody, I'm actually talking to somebody from that part of the world. Let me ask what his perspective is. And then Jonas, you were like, I know I said I was going to bed, but, and then we all kind of just started going off on this tangent, which has been wonderful. I got to say, it's just kind of like with Tesla, like the game is there to facilitate the conversation. Katana Zero, yes, I would like to beat it one day, but right now, I prefer having a conversation. It's a government, of course. It's a government. Of course, there's corruption and people making money off of it. I know an Iraqi YouTuber that criticized YouTube and their employees, so they took down his years-old channel. A few million subscribers for good. He made other ones and got his numbers back, but his videos don't get as much views as they did, and therefore no money. So no money, no motivation to keep him going for him. Yeah, damn big boy. Sorry about that. Man, Iraqi's gross domestic product is $264 billion US. That's enough money to turn our situation completely around, but corruption says otherwise. Yeah. That is something so that sounds like a perception that we have that is true over there, which is it's a wealthy as heck country. Like there is plenty of money over there, but it is being completely like squeezed and coveted and pocketed by a very, very small. We have our 1% here, but there's enough still trickling out that you can have a decent middle class to upper class. I mean, that's getting strangled. There have been some things that happened in the past 5 years or so that really screwed over small businesses and the working class. But, we do have that, but that was a perception. It sounds like that was pretty accurate, which is, yeah, it's a very wealthy country, but that wealth is not enjoyed by all the citizens or even most of them. But yeah, that's scary. And that would be a thing where YouTube probably, could have very well said, hey, powers that be, war. It could have been self-governing. Maybe that would be an interesting, that would be an interesting question, whether the Iraqi government would self-censor or if YouTube kind of pushed the issue. I mean, we will never know, but I mean, but here's the thing: you can because YouTube is so whatever it is, you can get strikes on your channel. You can be accused of something, and you'll be temporarily unable to do squat on your channel until it gets resolved. They just default to believing if somebody, hey, I got copyright against that video. The video's offline. You have to prove and go through all these hoops in order to get that back. You can get a strike, and they don't have to justify it. There are people, kind of like to your point, big YouTube. I'm piddly. I'm small. You get people with, again, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they can't even get an answer from YouTube as to why they got a strike, let alone get it removed. They're just like, well, once the strike is there, we can't remove it. So there's some shady crap going on. So that can happen here. There's no protection against that here, but it's not, as best as I know, it's not limited to or necessarily because of talking about the government. Like I said, and if that was to be known, for whatever it's worth, there would be outrage. I mean, if that's just people going, wah, because here we're way too comfortable to actually do a damn thing about it. You try to say, hey guys, if we want better entertainment, we got to stop feeding these companies money. If the movie's middling, if it's full of a bunch of bull crap that you don't want in your movies, don't go watch it. But I want to see the newest thing, and everybody's talking about the newest thing. I got to see the newest thing. Don't tell me not to see it. I don't want to have to go without something. Okay. You know, sure, people fought and died for stuff, but you can't be bothered to just skip a movie, you know, to send a message that says, hey, we're not interested in this. You have to have the newest thing. You have to have the newest shiny. So we have a vast number, maybe it's changing, but a vast number of people in this country that are so freaking comfortable that they are not willing to do without anything to make any kind of change. If it's not directly impacting them, if it's not screwing them in the face actively at that moment, they don't care about it. So I don't know what the outrage would be if the government just said, yeah, for crying out loud, our president got taken off of a social platform. Like, it's really hard not to believe that's a political thing. You can say, oh, he was inciting. Oh, geez, my gosh, this whole dog whistle thing. Oh my God, don't even get me started on that. But I would say, yeah, that alone makes it very clear. If the president of your country can be taken off of a platform for BS reasons. The guy was not unhinged, going on rants, saying, oh, we need to do this. If you take him out of context, yes, just like anybody else, it's going to sound really bad. But he said nothing. I mean, there's far, far worse being said on the platforms that is being propagated and spread. It's not like, oh, well, it's not the president. He only had so many accounts. Not everybody was following Trump. There are people with much, much bigger followings who are putting out stuff that's far, far more dangerous. I hate when they use that word than anything he's said, but whatever. Let's see. I'm curious. Do you all think small countries or big countries are better? Like if the world was made of 10 countries instead of over 200, would that be better? Makaro, from my 2 cents, I think smaller is better because smaller allows for that differentiation because you're not being ruled by like just like I was saying with okay. It's hard. I'll put it this way because we are the United States of America. Before initially people's identity and their allegiance was to their state. We were literally, it was essentially every state, all 48 states here, or however many we ultimately had at the time, saying, okay, we're all our own thing. We're essentially kind of our own country in a manner of speaking, but we are going to acquiesce some of our authority for a bigger governing body so that there's some unity, so that we're not just divided, so we don't have, different standards and everything. We're going to do this to try to make life a little bit easier. But we reserve the right to bail if we don't like how the big conglomerate is, what direction it's going. Which is funny because now trying to secede from the union is almost impossible. So there is something who said, house divided. But if you were already divided by virtue of your values, then trying to cram all. So essentially what you're doing, I guess going backwards with it, by forcing disparate people to live together, to consolidate, say, in your example, 20 countries into one, you are building within it division. You are building a house that is divided. It is not people naturally coming together with a common goal, common values, common culture, coming together naturally and living their life together. You are saying, here, you 20 people get along. And there's going to be one law that you all have to abide by. And it may appeal to half of you. It may appeal to most of you. It may appeal to none of you. But that's going to be the law for whatever reason we decide as the governing body of this country. And you all got to get along. So you're building a house on division. Like when they say diversity is a strength, it's almost the opposite. Like there's diversity of experience. There's diversity. There are functional things, elements of diversity. You don't want an entire country of bricklayers because you need people to do computers and software. Like you want diversity of industry. You want diversity of talent. But this idea that you want diversity of values, that you want diversity of like it's one thing for so far we haven't really stepped on each other's toes. Really, it seems we're simpatico on a lot of things. But let's say we had a disagreement about X, whatever it is. It's okay because you live way the heck over there. Jonas, you live way the heck over there. And I live way the heck over here. And so we can disagree and we're not infringing on each other's how we go about doing our lives. We can be diverse because we're not beholden to the same consequences or benefits or negative things about that particular thing. But if we were forced to live together and we did not agree, well, now I'm looking at you and going, okay, your way of life is directly screwing over my way of life, at least how I see it, or vice versa. And how are we supposed to get along? How are we not supposed to have animus? How are we not supposed to have division and problems if one of us or both of us are going, fingers pointing at each other? This person's the problem. This point of view is problematic. I got a clear vision of that, ironically enough or oddly enough, reading the Expanded Universe, Star Wars Expanded Universe. It made it crystal clear because there you had the Republic, which is the rebellion. After the rebellion, it became the Republic again, the New Republic. And they're trying to unify the worlds. They're trying to bring them all together. While the Empire did it through force, and while that was brutal and it wasn't good, and I'm not advocating for this, it just said you're all gonna get in line and follow these rules, whether you like it or not. And there was some autonomy there, but mostly it was like, this is what we're going to do, Iron Fist kind of thing. But there was a degree of unity there because everybody had to. It was forced unity. So you didn't have this, which I'm not advocating for that at all. But so the New Republic, not wanting to be that way, says we're trying to bring these different cultures together. And unlike here, like as far as I know, there's not a country or a peoples who are a warrior people. Whereas maybe Klingons in Star Trek, or I don't know, there's some race, the Yuvik-Kong or whatever it is in Star Wars, where it's like it is an entire race, an entire planet of denizens who define their life through combat and through violence. How do you get them to agree with an Alderaan, a peace-loving people who love to talk and philosophize and play video games? How are you going to get those two groups to come together? Because they literally cannot mix. So that's a very broad example, but I think that getting down to answer your question, if you were to think of it that way and exaggerate or exacerbate the differences and say, okay, how smart is it to say, let's take 20 different perspectives on this particular big issue that everybody feels very passionate about, make them live together and make them abide by one set of rules versus going, okay, within our borders, this is how we conduct our business. If you want to live here, this is how we do things. And if you go over there, you have to understand this is how they do things over there. We can trade with you. We can do business with you. We can respect you. We're not going to invade you, but we also don't agree with your way of life. We don't like that kind of food. And we think it smells funny. So we're not going to, that's a really superficial and stupid thing, but even something like that, where it's like, food that's very attractive to one group is repugnant to another, and you want them to live in the same house? How is that going to happen? We then fought a show. Oh, here we're going back to Norway's progression to the new Norway. So we there was the Declaration of Independence in 1819, we'll say 1905. it was actually acknowledged by Sweden. And then after that, we fought a short war with Sweden over this disagreement, and it resulted in us forming a very one-sided union instead. It's forming a very one-sided union instead. So it took around 90 years for the Swedes to come around. Then we grabbed a Danish prince with no royal inheritance claim due to being a younger sibling and asked him to become a king of Norway to make an official display of national sovereignty. Okay. I'm trying to put myself in that worldview from back then. I guess you need to do that kind of thing. That's how you establish the sovereignty. I'm not questioning you, Jonas. I'm just like trying to wrap my brain around it. Like that seems like a really messy way to say we're sovereign. Then I don't think we should be a monarchy anymore, but I understand why that was a political move for legitimacy back then in this part of the world. Okay, there you go. Exactly what I'm saying. The Republican advocated back then were not pleased though. What it did. Okay. Jonas, so you're the 1905 then was officially the new Norway. Like you all had your deal. Like that was when you established your sovereignty and you incorporated the Constitution, parts of it, at least from America and probably for some other places. But that's what you refer to. It's the turn of the 19th century is where you all got your start. Which, yeah, that probably makes you one of the youngest ones. I don't know. There's fighting going all over. They've changed the names. Like there's that song Istanbul with Constantinople. Now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople, get the works. That's nobody's business but the Turks. I don't know when that happened. Maybe that was after 1900s, but probably not. 1900 sounds like it would be the most recent. What it did, and half not so right. And all they had to do was say, Iraq has WMDs. Oh, when they told me about it. Wait. I'm missing something. Okay. What it did. Makar, I think because it says message retracted. I didn't delete it. I don't censor anything here. So it says message retracted. So I don't know what the first part of your statement was, but it says what it did and half not so right and all they had to say was, Iraq has WMDs when they told me about it. Like take North Korea, for example, and Pakistan and India. The nuclear proliferation treaty is basically America's. Makaro, I love it. You're 17 years old in Iraq and you're using words like proliferation. Do you know how many people in this country couldn't even spell that? Basically America's way of saying, oh, you have nuclear weapons. Can you please give that to us so we can achieve world peace? We're definitely not using them for our advantage or anything. And the only thing, Marco, and this is not a criticism. This is not grammar police, but just because you do have such a great grasp of English, just as a side, peace in this particular instance is PEACE versus PIECE. Peace is like piece of pie. Whereas if you're talking about world peace, it's PEACE. But again, that's not me nitpicking you. That's just, you've learned a lot. You know a lot. You're very great with English. I don't think that was a typo. That's just kind of, that's one of the screwy things about the English language. So we're just putting that in there just for, because I tell you what, you try to get in an argument on social media. If you have that in there, they just throw out your argument altogether. Well, you can't spell peace. So why am I going to argue with the guy who can't spell peace? Which is dumb, but whatever. So just let you know. I prefer our old Viking word, Miklar. Oh gosh, darn it. Miklagard for Constantinople, Istanbul. Means the large place. Really, Jonas? It's that generic? Miklengard? It sounds cool, or it almost sounds like a Mordor sound to it. Miklengard. They're taking the dwarves, they're taking the hobbits to Miklengard. Well, that's Isengard, so that's how I got there. Or Gerd. Gard? Yeah. Honestly, it does. I do like that. Because Constantinople was probably named after the dude, right? There was a king, Constantinople? Or a ruler or something. So that, and then Istanbul. Every time I think of Istanbul, when I think of Turkey, honestly, I think of Bald Bull from Punch Out. Means the large place. So yeah, that definitely sounds a little more nefarious, but that's a nice meaning. Yeah, it's like the WMD thing. Now, first of all, I will say this. This was part of the argument that I thought was the dumbest thing. If you walked into a room and I said, and you looked like, let's say you were looking for a penny in this room that I'm in now. It's not a huge room, but it's a decent size. There's a lot of crap in here. and you said, I'm looking for a penny, and you came in here and you looked for an hour and you didn't find it, you can say, I didn't find a penny in there. You can't say the penny never existed. The penny is not in there. You can definitely say you didn't find it, but you can't say that it definitively is not there because you can't possibly have looked everywhere. There's too much places to look. So while, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but that was a lot of what people are saying. Well, we didn't find anything. I'm like, that doesn't mean it wasn't there, but more to the point, I just think that's an obnoxious argument to use, especially when, as I recall, there were places we weren't allowed to look. So it's like, oh, we didn't find any WM. Well, yeah, but we weren't allowed to look in mosques or wherever else. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, the idea, whether you're talking about our president or a former president, or you're talking about another country, the idea that there's a megalomaniac where if they have nuclear weapons, they're just going to, on a whim, scratch their chin and blow up the world. To me, that's, there are some fears that are rational. I don't think fear is inherently coupled with irrational or rationality, but a lot of fears are irrational. And some of them are rational by proxy. So being afraid of heights isn't really rational, but being afraid of falling from heights is. But, like this idea that Saddam Hussein or whoever, if they got their hands on a nuclear warhead, they would absolutely launch it at us. And also the idea that after all this time, there is no, I'm sure there's no official, I'm pretty sure we're saying there's no official countermeasure for that. But unless you're going to teleport the damn thing here and blow it up, we probably have ways to handle that in a manner of speaking. But the bottom line is, like you're saying, it's to say, they did it in Superman 4. And you can only do that in Superman 4. Superman took all the nuclear weapons in the world, put them in a big net, and threw them into the sun. Probably, I don't know if that would have had a negative impact on the sun or not. Climate change would have probably gone crazy. But that's the only situation where that works. You have a Superman who goes personally around every country, shakes hands, definitively somehow says, I've now taken all the nuclear weapons out of the world, and chucks them. And then, of course, you see what happens. It creates Nuclear Man and one of the worst Superman movies, possibly all movies ever made. So there's your lection on handling nuclear stuff. But yeah, the idea that, like, I wouldn't trust it. And that's the thing. We got to put ourselves in the other person's perspective. It sounds good if you're the superpower, quote unquote, and you're going to say, we don't want any of these little guys to have nuclear weapons. It doesn't feel bad. You're like, yeah, of course. It needs to be responsible people like us. But if you step on the other side and say, well, if you were a person in that smaller country, would you say, yes, let's make sure the big superpower that already has leverage with trade, already has leverage in a lot of other ways, already has the biggest navy, the military is pretty freaking terrifying, or at least it was until the current iteration. Let's give them more power. We don't want to be able to defend ourselves. We don't want to have any possible leverage of our own. It's better that you have it. No, you'd be saying, let us have what we have. Damn it. There is such a thing as having, we don't have to plan to use the damn thing to say, well, we want to have it. And so it's putting yourself in that other position and going, no, I wouldn't want some big country taking all of the stuff and having all the things and being able to launch their weapons all over the place. So it's, I think the world gets in a lot, the whole do unto others thing. I think it has so much weight. Put yourself, before you say anything, before you condemn something or support something, put yourself on the other side of it and realistically be honest with yourself and go, would I be okay with it if it was me? And if you wouldn't, then maybe it's not okay to be doing it to other people. Well, a lot of Tolkien's naming convention was taken from Norse. Was it really, Jonas? I feel like I knew that. I mean, I knew it was, Anglo-Saxon. I knew it was like that history, but I didn't know Norse and everything. But you're not the first one to say, well, who else was it? It was either Big Hein or somebody like that. I think it was Big Hein that said, a lot of our words in America, in English, come from Slavic, I think is what he was saying. Oh, no, Yiddish. That's Big Hein. I think it was Big Hein that said, yeah, a lot of our language, a lot of our words actually come from Yiddish, which I didn't know and I didn't think of. Um, but I guess I shouldn't say it's surprising because a lot of stuff Norse have pretty cool names. Yeah, like it's like some words sound cacophonous, some words sound nice. I mean, there's a reason why, at least in America, we're like, oh, the French is such a romantic language because our ears, I guess that's the way we process. I can't do it justice, but the French language sounds beautiful and whatever and yeah. And then there's some that sound a little more harsh, not quite as soothing. I think Norse, and the only reason I say that is because IO is big into Norse. Like our D&D campaign is like 85% Norse nomenclature. But yeah, guys. So I'm my voice is actually starting to go here. I do have to get up relatively early to get some freelance work done before I go for my another abysmal Elder Scrolls Legends run. But gentlemen, Jonas and Makaro, it has been a pleasure talking with you these things about you. It really is encouraging to me. Like I like to learn about different stuff like that, but it's just encouraging to know just in reality how similar we are, or at least at the very least, amicable. Like I may have said some things that you're like, I'm not quite get that, but it was like I don't need to take issue with it. It's you can have a conversation and just let certain things slide and agree on the big things. But it's been educational. It's been enlightening. Again, Makaro, 17 years old, you're doing some good stuff, man. You got a good head on your shoulders. Jonas, yeah, a lot more in common. There was a lot that I didn't know. Obviously, I got a nice understanding of Norway and kind of how things are going over there and how it is for a citizen over there. And yeah, English has a lot of Norse in it too. It's been an eventful Thursday. Way to tie that in. Yes, Thursday. What in the world? My Nintendo says it's 11 o'clock, but it is decidedly 10 o'clock. Man, Switch. Thanks, that means a lot. Well, I mean, and it's no 100% genuine, man. That's yeah, that's and I gotta say, and I know this may sound weird to some folks, but I mean, this is the kind of thing that I would say, like, perhaps in our modern world, like, there is probably no land considered more foreign in a lot of ways than like for example, like Norway or Sweden or UK or whatever. It's assumed or it's perceived that we have a lot in common, whereas places like Iraq, just the Middle East in general, it in our current time, it's like that's the most juxtaposed that we can think of. If you were to ask somebody, like, what's the most foreign or most strange place, or that where they think completely different than we do, it would be that part of the world. And so it's like even more exciting and encouraging for me to talk to somebody who is in that part of the world and finding out that's a misconception. Popular misconception, but a misconception. Either that, or even as disparate as we are, it really isn't all that disparate. Now, of course, when you can get into more cultural things or religious things or whatever, and there's going to be some differences there. But yeah, it's so that to say it's even more so, I think, to have a conversation like this is edifying because it just kind of blasts that down, and it does help because prejudice exists, prejudging exists, and really can only exist if you have no experience with something, no real reason to do it, and you've never gone through it, and it's pretty much like an ignorance that almost breeds a prejudice. Whereas once you meet somebody like, in this country there's a lot of racial division going on right now. It was fine for a while and it's gotten ramped up again. But if you grew up with, like, for me as a white guy, if I grew up with a bunch of black guys that were awesome, I'm never going to be prejudiced against, because even if I meet somebody who's, black guy who sucks, I'm going to know, well, I've got a bunch of friends that are black. Like, it has nothing to do with race. It's not that. So you don't develop a prejudice against a particular race or group of people because people for a fact of that race or of that nationality or from that part of the world who are awesome. And so you go, okay, maybe I just met a jerk. Like, we're not lumped. We're not lumps of people. We are, individuals. And for the most part, most of us probably don't, again, agree with the big picture stuff that's going on. Anyway, that was a wacky tangent, but Friday morning for you. Is it still Thursday for you too? It is still Thursday for me. Thor's Day. I've got another 2 hours here. It's Friday morning for Jonas. Friggs Day, I should say. Actually, yeah, you're in Europe. 6 a.m. Friday for moi. 6 a.m. You're Makara. So you're like up at 4 a.m. Okay, so wait a minute, Makara. What time? My 3 o'clock. So because I want to tweak this. What time is ideal for you? So like because you're the main guy. Like you were the main like Katana Zero person. What? Because like if it's 6 a.m. for you, that means when I started playing at 7, I'm doing some math here. It was 3 a.m. for you. Like, do you normally get up that early? Because you said, oh, I'm late. But that doesn't seem like a feasible thing because I can push it back. Like when I do the next Katana Zero, I can push that back to 4 or 5 my time, which should make it at least 4 or 5 your time. And I'm not saying like if I'm sitting here and I'm playing, I'm like, where's Makara? If he's not here, I'm pissed off. I'm just saying like, I don't mind moving the time to accommodate so it's not a ridiculous time. If you're like, hey, I'd like to catch that stream at some point, I don't want to be like, yeah, well then get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because I'll be honest with you, the brutality of this game, I probably only have about 2 hours in me at a time, maybe 2.5. But I mean, Jonas, you've played this, I guess, right? Because you were giving me tips and hints, so I'm guessing, Jonas, you've beaten this already. You and Makaro both are Katana Zero vets. I didn't realize this game was that old. I thought it was like a year old, like Moonrider, but clearly I was wrong about that. All right, I'm doing this because it is late for you all, and it is getting late for me. Jonas is already in a different, both of you are already in Friggs Day, and I can't demand you stay awake any longer. And like I said, I've got to get some stuff done before looks don't equal personality, or looks do equal. That's probably an internet way of phrasing something. I'm not savvy with it. I don't know. Like, looks don't equal personality, I think is what that's saying. It's 5 a.m. for Jonas, 6 a.m. for me. I get up at 2 a.m., get sober at about 3 a.m. What? When do we get sober? Now, is this a language thing? Oh, Jonas. Yeah, okay, you were the one. Yes. Okay, good. Now that makes sense. Because when I started, oh no. I thought it was Michael Bailey. Or was it you? I might have gotten you mixed up because I remember it was somebody. I thought from Tesla. I thought it was Michael Bailey, but it might have been you. I remember it was somebody recommended it. And I was like, yeah, let me go. Well, no, okay, because whoever recommended, I was playing Moonrider at the time. And he asked, have you, no, it was Michael Bailey. It was Michael, because I was playing Moonrider at the time. And he said, he's like, have you played Katana Zero? And I was like, no, let me look it up. And I looked at it. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And I'll put that on my list. He's like, yeah, it's really cool. And da-da-da-da-da. So he was watching me play Moonrider. Unless that was you, Jonas. But I think it was him that was watching me play Moonrider. And he said that. But you may have actually suggested it. You guys, a lot of times people suggest stuff, and if I don't write it down, even though I tell myself, oh, I'm going to remember that because it sounds like a cool game or a good movie, I don't remember. I actually literally have a document now that has like Baldrick's recommendation, it has Joe's restaurant recommendations, and it has the few video game recommendations that I haven't actually bought yet. But yeah, so when you say, Makaro, if you said my preferred tree time is 4 or 5 a.m. So, ergo, that would be it's 6 a.m. for you. So wait. No, you're way ahead. So it's 6 in the morning for you now, or 6:15, I'm guessing. So we're 8 hours different. So, and you're 8 hours ahead. Sorry, math is not my strong suit. So you're 8 hours ahead of me. So for you at 5 o'clock in the morning, that would then be 9 o'clock p.m. for me. Right? 9 o'clock at night. All right, it's a little late, but especially if I'm only going to do it for an hour or two, I can do that. I might do that on a Saturday night then. I might do that on a Saturday night because I do like I am. I mean, it's a very part-time job, but I pretty much have it set where I get the video edits out by 10 o'clock in the morning. So that means I have to be up at like 5 to get my hours in. And it's hard to do that if I'm up until like midnight or so. So yeah, we'll do it a weekly thing, but the next one will be Saturday night. So it's coming up. So I guess it'll be Sunday morning for you. 5 o'clock Sunday for you, 8 o'clock p.m., 9 o'clock p.m. for me. And we'll make it happen. I can't do any worse than I've done today. That's all I'm going to say. This was abysmal in terms of playing. But yeah, when you said sober, I was like, okay, that might be a translation thing because sober typically means, I mean, you can be of sober mind or like it's like a sobering experience. Like it was sobering to realize that 45% of all people have loss of vision by the time they're 60, something like that. It's a sobering reminder. So we do have that word, but typically that's like a subdued emotional thing, or it means I recover from my alcoholic binge and I've sobered up. So when you say I get up at 2 a.m., get sobered about 3 a.m., I'm like, huh, but you just said you don't drink. So yeah, that's a different thing. Cause I take a long ass time to break free from sleep vibe and the wakey vibe. All right. Well, it wasn't a translation thing. I was just trying to be eloquent. Oh, I see. Okay. I get it. All right. I get you. I butchered it. I'm sorry. Okay. But I'll post it. I always try to post these things at least a day in advance. So we'll just say it'll be 8:30 or 9. That kind of splits the difference. Because at worst case, I can take a nap, on Sunday night or Saturday night and, do that. Cause I mean, that's still pretty freaking early. And to be honest, most people, now I'm a morning person. And so if I have something to do at 3 o'clock or 2:30 and I'm up at 2, I can do it. I can turn it around because I'm a morning person. So it's like, I get out of sleep pretty quick, but like right now I am on fumes. I've been on fumes since like 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm not a late day person. Just by my genetics. So, but to be fair, most people that I know waking up at 2 a.m., it would take them an hour to roll out of bed, especially if you don't have to be out of bed. So, yep, 8:39, got it. Yep. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to land this plane. Makaro, has been a pleasure. Jonas, it has been a pleasure, a great pleasure. Gentlemen, just really a good time chatting with you. It really I'm glad I tried this again, even though my webcam still sucks. And even though I didn't really get too terribly far in the game, this has been a great evening, and I am very glad I jumped back on to try to do something with this. And yeah, we're still streaming, so I think like my Elder Scrolls streams are 2.5 hours long, and it's like they end at 2 hours, and there's like a half hour talking. This one's probably the inverse. There's like a half hour gameplay. No, we played it for 2 hours, I think, 1 hour and 45 minutes. And we're going on 4 hours. So yeah, it's been a lot more. Anyway, you all have a good night or a good morning, wherever you are in the world. And I will talk to you soon.